Welcome, traveler. What a lucky surprise it is to share this cozy bonfire with someone. Or maybe it was fate itself? What should we do to make this meeting unforgettable? Oh, but how could I forget? First, I must introduce myself. My name is Time Lord and I'm a storyteller. Right, I know how we can spend this beautiful day. This story has everything: a charming hero, a cunning villain, a beautiful world, and a ton of trophies. But I've already told you too much. Are you ready? Then just press the subscribe button under this story and make yourself comfortable. Let us begin. This is a simple story about a hero who must overcome numerous obstacles to emerge victorious. But what if the protagonist of the story isn't actually a hero, but a stubborn fool who refuses to power up? Well, you get one truly unique story. Meet Levelus Maximus, the noble warrior from the faraway land, and luckily you've met him just in time for his early vacation. After some very careful planning, he decided to visit a country named Lordran, and that's where he met his first obstacle. His name was too long to enter this beautiful land. No worries, putting his pride and legacy of his ancestors aside, he now has become Levelus Maximus. Close enough. But his first stop wasn't the beautiful capital, Anor Londo. It wasn't even the famous Blight town, it was Undead Asylum. Yes, he was apprehended and put in jail as soon as he entered the country. And for what? Just for his name. Legal note, not actually for his name. But fear not, while he was relaxing in his prison cell, some kind soul decided to set him free. Levelus was so happy to see one of the local citizens and to see their kindness. We are sure nothing bad will happen to him. After gearing up and totally accidentally putting his kind savior to rest, he got to his personal jailer. He wanted to shake hands and thank his big pal for taking such good care of him. But he forgot that his hand was made out of fire, don't ask, and accidentally burned him to ashes. Well, no time to mourn, we've got to see this beautiful land, and after using the main means of transportation here, a really big bird, he arrived at his first traveling goal. He heard a lot about the magnificent place called Filing Shrine, so obviously he had some expectations. And to tell you the truth, it was even greater than he could ever imagine. First of all, the scenery was beautiful, but that's not all. In this cozy shelter he also met some very genuine, positive and talkative people. He was thrilled and could only guess what wonders he would encounter next. From the man called the Optimistic Knight he learned some crucial information. In this place there are two bells, and only the person who rings these bells will be granted permission to enter the royal capital. Well, no time like the present, the first bell was located in the actual city. So, Levelus Maximus rested at the bonfire, refilled his delicious orange juice and moved to the city. As you might already have noticed, dear viewer, our hero decided not to use the unique ability of this land. In simple words, he refused to level up. While searching for a way to the city, we decided to introduce ourselves to another person, a cleric named Petrus of Thorlund. At first, he seemed unfriendly, but after a small tip, he told us about his goals, started selling miracles, and even offered us to join his covenant. What is a covenant? For now, let's just say it is a group of people with similar interests. But for some reason, Levelus became obsessed with them. I guess it's nice to be a part of something bigger, but this is when something strange happened. When entering the city through sewers, nothing strange yet, he met some local thugs. They attacked him and tried to take his traveling money, but all they needed to do was ask. He would give them part of it as a thank you gift, just for living in such a great country. The more he walked through the streets, the stranger he felt. Where are the normal citizens? Why does this place consist only of criminals that try to jump him? And while our hero was getting deeper and deeper in his grim thoughts, everything changed. He met maybe the friendliest person in his entire life. This honest merchant offered Levelus some goods, and in attempt to seem friendly and to support a local business, our hero decided to switch his trusted ex for a club. Why? The club looked cool. So, with a new tool, our hero continued his vacation. But if you think that our hero will complete his journey flawlessly, I must reassure you that this isn't the case. The decision to not level up brought our hero a lot of joy, but also a lot of hardships. On this journey he met death face to face, and I will be sure to show you some of the best encounters. After that he continued to explore the city, and what a fortune, you will never believe this happy coincidence. He then saw a strong looking guy in black armor. Certainly, this guy must have been one of the peacekeepers in this town. Our fortunate hero wanted to salute him and to say that he really enjoyed his time in this town, but this was never meant to be. As with his jailer, he forgot that his hand was on fire and accidentally disposed of the Black Knight. Levelus was devastated, but then he found a pretty ring in his guard's pockets and decided to move on. His line of thinking was, well, it was an accident and the ring is pretty. Truly, this is our noble hero, never giving up. Moving on, our warrior has traveled through some strange fog wall. What was this wall? I don't know, and our protagonist doesn't either. But on the other side of this wall he found a dog. If there is one thing Levelus Maximus loves more than traveling, it's dogs. To tell you the truth, this was a strange dog. I actually think it wasn't a dog at all. But don't tell this to our hero, he will be devastated. Our hero, of course, being noble and kind, wasn't able to continue his journey without playing with a dog. So he used his new stick to play some kind of fetch game with this magnificent creature. Then, when the dog was satisfied, our hero returned to his journey. And then he met him. Just a moment ago he was crawling through cramped streets and fending off thugs, but now he found himself standing on a beautiful balcony with a gorgeous sun in sight. He was so close to it, he felt like he could just reach out his arms and touch it, but then the sun spoke. The glorious man introduced himself as Solaire of Astora and actually became friends with our hero. He told Levelus Maximus that noble knights like them should help each other. His words were as beautiful as his posture, and our hero just couldn't refuse. But alas, the time for bell visiting was coming to a close, so he said his goodbyes to a new friend and went forward with his newfound resolve. After this fateful meeting, our hero needed to pass through a big bridge. But then something unexpected happened. A big lizard came crashing from the sky and for some reason mistook his guests for barbecue. While being slightly burned, Levelus couldn't resist staring at this magnificent creature. And then he saw something strange. At the very tip of the lizard's tail there was some kind of sharp needle. It surely isn't pleasant for any living thing to be stuck by a needle. So our hero decided to take the matter in his own hands and shoot this needle out. But alas, he was never good with bows, or crossbows, or magic, or big weapons, you get the point. The lizard was tired from these futile attempts and flew off to find a new resting place. But time was still running low for our champion and he continued his journey. There was only one final obstacle before getting to the church. After going through the bridge and fighting another Black Knight, I'm starting to think they are mad at us for some reason. Our smart and handsome character ran into a gang leader. It was a boar. A wide, wild metal boar, and considering how much Levelus loves pets, he just couldn't go on without petting him. And there it was, a long-awaited church. Such a beautiful sight for tired eyes. Let's come inside. And now I must ask something of you, dear listener. What did our hero forget to do before setting his foot inside the church? To drink his flask, to clean his clothes, to pray, to pay the toll. Ding ding ding, yes. Answer B, to clean his clothes. And he was gently reminded to do that by a very polite and big church guard. So, before we can ring any bells, we first need to find a place to clean Levelus' armor. Thankfully, some strange cleaning place was right around the corner. Turns out that this is no ordinary cleaning place, but actually this is an all-purpose workshop, run by a very wise, strong, and dare I say, pretty man named Andre. He told us that he is a blacksmith and that he can help us to clean and upgrade our armor, but Levelus wasn't sure about his attire, because he actually hoped to find a tailor to buy something better suited for this trip. So he upgraded his club, just in case of emergencies, cleaned his armor at the bonfire, and headed out to ring a bell. The first locals he saw when stepping on the second floor of the church were a group of strange half-naked men led by a dancing mage. For the sake of truth, we must say that the mage was really good at dancing. But alas, the time for visiting was coming to a close, so with a heavy heart our hero took care of them and moved on. And then something else caught his interest. Some mumbled sounds were coming from the side path. Being a curious person by nature, Levelus against his better judgment decided to check this path. And what did he find? Well, actually he found not what, but who. A knight in shining armor called Lothric of Karim locked up inside a cage. Without a second thought, our protagonist opened the door and set his new potential friend free. Of course, Lothric, being a noble knight himself, thanked our hero and promised to give him a very good reward. Suffice to say that Levelus will surely take him up on this offer, but for me, hearing his honest laugh was the best reward there can be. As they say, while doing something in lifetime flies like a really big lizard. And as you could guess, we were awfully late for bell ringing. I suggested that we should wait until tomorrow, but our hero would not take no for an answer, so we moved to the bell. Maybe the next unfortunate events wouldn't come to be if our hero could hear the voices of reason, but after climbing some ladders he found himself right in front of the guards of this place. Maybe he thought that if he was clean and handsome, guards would let him pass after closing hours, but that was simply wishful thinking. After taking one step on the roof, a stone gargoyle came to life and blocked the path of our hero. Seeing that there was no other way and questioning whether breaking a stone sculpture was considered a dishonorable act, it's not. He decided to smack it with his fancy new club. Actually, he was way stronger than this guard, because blunt strikes easily break stones. He defeated the first guard while snatching its tail and quickly disposed of the second one. And there it was. Just one ladder climb separated him from his goal. And so he climbed. Hearing the beautiful sound of the bell was definitely worth that journey, so our hero was just standing there speechless. But as the first goal of the trip was completed, our hero felt strange and unfamiliar feeling. He was tired. The only thing that remained on his mind was getting a cozy place to rest, and so he climbed down. But before he could start his well-deserved rest, there were some other matters we needed to resolve. First, at the bottom of the stairs there was a new face, a man called Oswald of Karim. At first I thought he wanted to pester us for breaking the guards, but it turned out he was a different kind of priest. He actually offered to pardon our sins for a small fee. But, being a noble and honest knight, Levelus surely didn't need to use his services. So after a quick chat, most of which consisted of us admiring his beautiful laugh, we decided to move on. And the second matter was that we didn't know where to rest. But turns out Lady Luck was on our side this whole time. Right beside our new blacksmith friend, there was a path leading to a closed gate. And there we found more than we've hoped. While coming closer to the gate, our lovely hero heard, you wouldn't believe it, snoring. Turns out there was a man sitting there. A man dressed in probably the most beautiful armor we've seen today. After a quick chat, we learned that his name was Sigmaer of Katharina and he was here to get to the capital. but more importantly, that he will gladly be our new friend. With a happy heart, our protagonist quickly solved some kind of pest problem in the basement for Andre and returned to the closest bonfire to safely rest. By the way, while our hero is resting, I've got a message for you. I'm positive that you've already clicked the subscribe button under this video, but just to be certain, I'll keep reminding our listeners from time to time. Better safe than sorry. Thanks! After a long and fulfilling rest, Levelus found himself yearning for more. More beautiful places to visit, more challenging encounters to overcome, and more great friends to meet. Thinking about where to go next, he remembered something about a strange door near Salayer. After a quick search through his stuff, he managed to find a key to this door. So he packed his belongings and moved on to the next location. While climbing down, Levelus couldn't help but wonder what or who he would find in the lower city. And he found just that, a lower city. You may think that there is nothing great about a lower city, and maybe you are right, but for our hero there was literally no difference, as he wanted to see every corner of London on his vacation. So he was thrilled every time he stumbled upon a new place. Residents of the slums weren't happy to see Levelus, so they attacked him as usual. As you remember, this behavior troubled our hero on his first day, but now he had accepted the rules of this land, and he wanted to win. He successfully opened one of the doors and found an unknown mage trapped there. As always, we've helped this poor soul, and after learning that his name was Greek Soul Windheim, we agreed to meet him at the Firelink Shrine. Following a path full of enemies, our champion once again found himself in front of a fog wall. He already figured that this usually means something. Some of you may think that Levelus is just some village boy who can take a hint, but actually he adapts, so he was kind of prepared. And because of that, he managed to easily defeat the strong-looking goat demon lurking behind this fog wall. After this victory, it was time for another fateful meeting. Before our hero decided to enter the city sewers, he caught a glimpse of another path before him. This convenient path led us to Firelink Shrine. Yes, just like that. But that's not all. At the base of this path, we found a new shop, run by a pretty mummy-looking lady. She was happy to see us, and even happier to trade with us. Levelus once again bought some of the goods, remember, to support a local business, and in return she told us something very important about this land. Turns out, this magnificent country is a victim of a curse, and that's why everyone looks like that, and why they all are attacking us. But that's not all, even Levelus is cursed, and that's why he looks like that. We thought he was just acclimatizing, and that's why everyone says to us, don't become hollow. Whoa, it was actually really important to learn. But anyways, we came to Firelink Shrine to chat with our newfound friend, the mage. He suggested teaching us some magic and, more importantly, told us about his teacher, Big Head Logan. We should definitely keep an eye out for him. We already met Petrus during our first trial, but now I see some unfamiliar faces, so I guess it's time to tell you their story. Petrus and two other clerics named Vince and Nico must escort Lady Rhea in her search for the Rite of Kindling. But for now, this is everything we were able to learn. After this brief rest, it was time for our next objective, the sewers. Passing by the sweet lady merchant, we've come to a door. A simple wooden door that separates us from all of the horrors crawling in the sewers. But if you think that Levelus would be afraid, well, let's just say that you need to pay more attention. So, what exactly is waiting for us in the sewers? Let me introduce you to the local wildlife. Naked hollows, butchers, rats, and I mean big rats, goo, devil's abominations, something big, angry, and certainly hungry. But wait, let's save that for later. For now, Levelus was still opening this simple door. The first notable stop was waiting for a hero right at the beginning. Remember butchers that I've told you about? Well, that was their domain, and they actually just tried to do their jobs. Of course, one might argue that they butchered someone and took their meat, but let's not fall into semantics. All of the residents were hollows, and they obviously attacked our hero, so Levelus quickly disposed of them. Not his hardest fight. And after this brawl, he decided to check their food stash. What? Maybe there was something that didn't contain human meat. everything there contained human meat. But luck favored our hero for now, and he managed to find a prisoner held up in one of the barrels. As for who this prisoner was, you would never guess. A pyromancer. Yes, like Levelus himself. Being overjoyed, our hero quickly introduced himself and wanted to discuss flame magic with his soulmate. But thinking about where they are, he decided that this isn't the time nor the place for such a chat. So he sent Laurentius to Fire Shrine and agreed to pay him a visit first thing after he gets back. So what was the next thing Levelus found in this stinky place? Well, just as we could all expect, some kind of living goo that really wanted to replace his head, a house-sized rat, and of course a devil's abomination themselves. If you ask our hero about his fears before this journey, he would probably kindly laugh in your face. But now he knew, no he didn't, that even he isn't invincible. These lizard-like creatures, which our hero mistook for some frogs, were actually called basilisks, and their main ability is to curse every living thing that inhales their breath. Scary, right? But our hero didn't know about this ability, so he wasn't really afraid. He smacked them a couple of times and was on his way. Remember kids, sometimes it's better not to know about inevitable danger. And this almost concludes our journey through the sewers, but of course I've saved the best for last. Before that, Levelus met some strange looking fella. His name was Dom Hollow Zena, and it seemed like he was a traveling merchant. Nothing else to add here, just a pleasant man in this unpleasant environment. After that, there was just one simple task left for here in the sewers. Let's end this. Imagine an enormous open area, no enemies inside, and single fog wall waiting for a hero. Yes, you guessed it, it's boss time. After coming through this wall, Levelus saw something that really warmed his heart. Yes, it was just his second day away from home, but he still missed it dearly. So imagine his excitement when he saw an alligator in this hostile place. He opened his arms and ran right at the alligator to hug him, because he knew a lot of reptiles back at his hometown, but sadly, it wasn't an alligator. After this so familiar head, he saw a body, and it turned out it was actually a huge dragon with a gaping jaws that occupied almost its whole body. Any sane being would be scared speechless at the sight of this monster, but Levelus wasn't really sane, so the only thing that he felt was anger. How could this thing impersonate itself as a simple crocodile? You know, identity theft is not a joke. Being overrun by negative emotions, Levelus did what needed to be done and decided to defeat this creature. Strike after strike, he felt some unhealthy sense of satisfaction. It was truly scary to witness, and soon the dragon fell. Our hero emerged victorious once again. Both Levelus and I really could use a break, so we decided to visit Fire Shrine once more before traveling deeper into this land. There we managed to chat with our newfound companion, and using newly acquired souls we also strengthened our pyromancy flame. We tried not to talk about what's happened with the dragon because we both felt uneasy after this fight. But no matter, after Petros and the group departed on the journey, Lothric was finally here. And for his reward, well, it was something amazing. Such a beautiful medal, and it depicted a sun. Truly, this guy is a good friend. Thinking about friends and promises reminded Levelus about Slayer. He was so calm and peaceful, so graceful and stoic. Levelus wanted his friend to be proud of him. So his next goal changed. He postponed his journey into the pit and returned to the church to help the next traveler with the first bell. And after a quick hold-up, we were summoned into another world. There, with a hero of some different story, we fought together and managed to defeat the Bell Gargoyles. It was truly a refreshing experience. It's nice to help someone without expecting reward. After this, Levelus was once again free from any worries, so it was time to return to our journey, and the pit was waiting for us. While Levelus was climbing down into this nasty place, allow me to tell you something about this part of the country. If you remember, Blighttown was one of the traveling goals of our hero, and his first impression was, as you could guess, amazement. This place was fantastic. It had clowns to test your might, a Ferris wheel, a floor puzzle, and the most important thing, a pool. Yes, Levelus stumbled upon the biggest amusement park in his life, and of course, he wanted to stay at this place as long as possible. I might add that it was actually a good thing, because Levelus was taking his time while traveling through this peculiar terrain. Thanks to that, we managed to avoid lots of death traps and also found some useful items. You might already have noticed it, but Levelus was really diligent in exploring this land, so he collected every shiny thing on his way. No item was able to escape his grasp, so our collection grew with every place he visited, and that decision ultimately led to our hero becoming a powerful mage, cleric, and pyromancer. Sorry, I'm running ahead of our story. For now, Levelus is just Levelus, and the Blighttown is just a fun landmark. The only questionable thing was the pool. It was filled with poison, but on the other hand, our hero doesn't mind, so let's just drop it. There was even more stuff to find in this pool, so Levelus made sure to check every corner of this place. What did he find? See for yourself. A couple of boulder rolling clowns, a material for a weapon upgrade, and a secret path through a tree. Wait a second, a secret path? Okay, this one is on me. I guess nothing should surprise me at this point. So, a secret path inside a tree. What a torture for yours truly, but what a fantastic ride for Levelus. This tree was a maze to travel through, not just any maze, but a deadly maze without a floor. Oh, no matter, we found a new ring. We also found some more shining bugs, and now Levelus stepped on them willingly. Going lower and lower into this tree, we found another batch of basilisks. But either our hero became stronger or still did not care, so we quickly disposed of them. And now I need your full attention. The next enemies we face were funny living mushrooms. Just look how cute they are. These little fellas with their little arms and legs, and how hilariously clumsy they are. But it was just a moment of happiness before the inevitable doom. Here comes the father. Those big mushrooms were not just dangerous, they were deadly. One punch from them would send Levelus back to the top of this tree, as it did a couple of times. In short, we decided to run for our lives and to see what lies next. Have you ever seen something so beautiful and majestic that no words could even come close to describing it? Well, then you have already seen Ash Lake. It was truly an unforgettable place, but for now we felt like this wasn't where we were meant to be. Of course, Levelus being Levelus tried to explore this magnificent location, but he was quickly stopped by the sustainer of the heavenly principles.
How about we explore the area ahead of us later?
Well, let us return to the amusement park. As we learned, Levelus wasn't just dirty, he was hollowed. So when he sat at the bonfire, he didn't clean himself, but restored his humanity. And his timing couldn't be any better. A lady named Manager Mildred decided to visit his world. I know what you're thinking, but never shame a woman for her hobby. She was actually quite friendly and told our hero about the director of this place. Turned out, the director was called Quilek, and she opened this park just to take care of her sick sister. What a truly noble goal. Levelus couldn't resist his desire to meet this kind soul and to see a pretty lady. So his next stop was her office. Luckily, the second bell was located just past it. After a casual stroll through the poison pool, Levelus came to her door. As always, the only thing separating him from this mysterious boss lady was a fog wall. Our hero mentally prepared himself, rehearsed his best pickup lines, and came forward. You know, our story may be about a hero, and usually it is made to put a smile on your face, but sometimes a smile just isn't right. Quilek was a gorgeous spider lady, so pretty that Levelus could only admire her and her lower parts. But the twisted joke of fate made our hero and this lovely lady enemies. In different times they might have put their differences aside, fallen madly in love, made a couple of lovely spider hero children, and take care of Quilek's sister together. But this is not how the story goes. In this timeline, they were enemies, and enemies must fight. With tears running inside Levelus' soul, he defeated this unfortunate enemy and moved to ring the bell. If hearing the first bell filled our hero with happiness, the sound of the second bell just made him feel empty. But this isn't the time for grim thoughts. He is simply a traveler, a so-called hero who came to this world for vacation. So he must pick himself up and continue his journey. Continuing, our hero came to a place called Demon Ruins, and that's where feelings overwhelmed him. There was another boss, a huge beast called Ceaseless Discharge. For Levelus it should have been a simple fight, but it wasn't. Levelus died, and then he died again. Again and again he threw himself at this beast. He was careless, he wanted the punishment. Or maybe he was just stuck because he wasn't leveling up. After countless attempts, something changed inside Levelus. He remembered who he is and, more importantly, who he wants to be. He managed to forgive himself, to patch a hole in his heart and to finally win this battle. After this tiring fight, our hero remembered something. He rang 2 bells, and that meant a path to the capital was finally open. But to go there, he first needed to crawl back from this amusement park, so he started to head back. But our story would not be complete without a small thing that happened with Levelus on his way back. Near the second bell he found an illusory wall, and behind this wall rested Quillex's sister. After coming through her sovereign Engi, he manned up and decided to have a chat with her, but she was unable to speak. No matter, Levelus knew that he needed to help her, so he joined her covenant and gave her some of his own humanity. He could only hope that this sacrifice would make her feel better. The next thing on our list was a conveniently placed Ferris wheel leading up from this place. Levelus gladly took this ride, and we might say he even enjoyed it. On his way out he found a Firekeeper's soul, so he could upgrade his flask as soon as he returned to Fallen Shrine. He also met a mysterious lady, who, as he guessed, was a really powerful pyromancer. He talked with her for some time, but ultimately decided to be on his way, as he was all out of cash. Poof! And there it was, freedom! Levelus loved the amusement park, but placing it inside a cliff and on a poisonous swamp was truly a questionable decision. On his way to Fallen Shrine, he passed some peculiar place called Anor Londo ruins, and there he met a sorcerer blacksmith prisoner. This country never ceases to amaze. Wherever we go, we met with some interesting characters, and there it is, a Fallen Shrine, a home away from home. After all these adventures, there was nothing that Levelus wanted more than to sit at his most loved bonfire and to just chat with his friends. Wait, what? Why is the bonfire turned off? What the hell happened here? Lothric did what? So, no rest for the wicked, I guess. Lothric betrayed us and killed our Firekeeper. What a crook! There should be a huge block of text about how Levelus felt after being betrayed, but we already had 2 character developments at this point, so allow me not to bore you with unnecessary drama. The most important thing was that Levelus was pissed. He set his goals to find this filthy traitor and to make him pay for his crimes. And what a turn of events! We found just the thing to find him. From the Black Eye Orb found at the crime scene, we learned that now he is in the capital, just where we are heading. Wait for us, Lothric, you will regret angering our hero. But the capital is not the place we can simply rush into. We must be fully prepared for all the dangers lurking there. So, this is Levelus' training arc. Any successful training must have a good regime, or in other words, a plan. Levelus' plan consisted of some strong enemies to fight and some dangerous places to visit. Let's name them. Levelus must return to Undead Asylum. There was another mean-looking guard to defeat. Catacombs behind Fallen Shrine. Remember, there could be a thing called the Rite of Kindling, and it will surely be useful. Anor Londo Ruins, a scary place is perfect to hone our skills. Forest behind Andre. we'll definitely find some beasts to fight there. Sans Fortress, the final obstacle before the capital, a fun house full of traps. But before our training could begin, Levelus heard a loud snoring coming from an abandoned building. It was a huge green serpent. He called himself a king's advisor friend and sent our hero to the capital to find a thing called the Lord Vessel. Nothing new for us, but it's always nice to have the support of the authorities. Let's train! And our first stop will be at the place where everything began. And together Levelus needed to channel his inner ninja and disguise himself as an egg. It was a success. The bird took and delivered him right at the cliff near Undead Asylum. I must remind you, dear viewers, that the last bonfire our hero rested at was right at the base of Blighttown, meaning that in case of his untimely demise we would need to run all the way from there, but thankfully this time Levelus was very careful and managed to get to the bonfire unharmed. So the next goal was defeating a head guard. And that was precisely what our hero did. This fight was not that different from the first one, same huge monstrosity, but this time with visual effects. Nothing to write home about. The next notable thing was waiting for us inside Levelus' old prison cell, behind the Black Knight guarding it. Levelus questioned why the guards were here now and not at the time for his escape, and I think we'll never learn the truth. No matter, behind him we found a strange wooden doll. Of course, we had no idea where to use it, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. Levelus also met his savior. See, he didn't actually kill him last time, but now Oscar was hollow. So this time we definitely put him to rest. And we found an old and unremarkable ring, will 100% need it later. With that, our journey through Asylum was coming to a close, but wait, what is this sound? Someone is asking for a smooth and shiny thing? Levelus did what was asked of him and got some useful loot in return. Now we are surely done here. Before we got to our next desired place, our protagonist decided to return to the city, but for what? Maybe it was to think about the past, when life was easier and goals were simpler? Of course not! Who do you take our hero for? He wanted to help the wyvern, whom he had earlier called a big lizard, get that splinter out of her tail. And he did just that, but he also now understood that this creature was not in its right mind, so he took this challenge and decided to beat it for good. Only for now our hero wasn't strong enough, so he left, but promised to return after conquering the capital. Before we get any chances to do that, we first need to continue our training arc. And to do that, let's go deeper into the catacombs. Now it is time to see what enemies will oppose us at this stage of our journey. Skeletons. Big, small, magical, spinning, but mostly just basic undeads. Except that we cannot kill them. What about striking them with our club, you ask? Yeah, neither striking nor burning will do the trick. They will just keep standing up until we kill their leader. A necrodancer. Wait, what? Who? Necromancer. So, this is the main gimmick, immortal enemies and hidden revivers. You may also add traps, pits and thin bridges. Sounds really fun. And fun it was. Skeletons were starting to give Levelus a hard time, but then he took a shield and it was mostly over. The only thing he needed to do was to find the nearest necromancer and the segment was cleared. But it wasn't all fun and games. Remember, we are training here. This place teaches our champion to be patient and to carefully examine his surroundings. Also, we've got a cool lantern. The next notable encounter happened when we fallen inside a pit. A mean and bulky skeleton with a blonde beard appeared from the darkness. Levelus was ready to fight, but then he opened a wall and told us to scram. What? Turns out he's a blacksmith too. Vamos might not be the most welcoming guy, but he is trustworthy and hardworking. He infused our second club with fire, yes, we've bought a couple of extra clubs, and told us that if we bring him some cool embers, he will infuse it even more. Thanks, Vamos! After this certainly wholesome encounter, we've continued to explore the catacombs. And who is this? Another Black Knight? He must have got lost in this downward spiraling maze. Can't really blame him. Let me say this now. I hate Titanite demons, but more on this later. On the contrary, Levelus was excited to fight someone strong, so at least one of us was happy. Right beside that demon we found an open coffin. And what is the sanest thing to do when you see one? Of course, our hero took a small nap. However, his nap was cut short, because for some reason the coffin began moving, and BAM! We found ourselves at the Gravelord Nito's footsteps. Levelus vaguely remembered hearing something about him on the flight to Lordran. What was it? Oh, no matter, our hero already joined his covenant. Why? For what reasons? I'm afraid only Levelus can answer this question. But don't worry, we didn't forget about Quillag's sister. Helping her was our number 2 priority. I'd say we already overstayed our welcome, so let's wrap things up. Right past Manus' newly created door, we finally reached the bottom. There was no one alive there. Ha! Got you? Of course there isn't, it's the catacombs. But there were skeletons, the worst kind of them actually, the rolling ones. After Levelus took care of them, there was now a big open coffin, and following his intrusive thoughts, our hero jumped right into it. Thank God it was a boss, the famous, I'm sure he's famous somewhere, Pinwheel and his little Pinwheelians. I was a little bit panicked when he started creating copies everywhere, but Levelus just hit the real one with his club and the boss fell. Now we've got the right of kindling, yay! It meant that now we can kindle our bonfires and receive even more Estus. Seeing that we've completed our second goal, now was the time to finally get out of this creepy place. As if Levelus could hear my inner voice, he thought, this place is creepy? I'll show you creepy. And so we set foot inside Anor Londo ruins. And just like that, I am ready to eat my words. Now, this is what I call a creepy place. But before that, we must discuss our positive friend. You know, some of you may think that I'm just joking when I call him positive, but I'm not. We don't know who he was, what or who hit he lost. But still, despite all of this, he guided us, helped us get a grip in this unfamiliar land. He was our guiding light. But a light cannot exist without the darkness, and so, when he decided to help us, he lost. We found him right at the New Londo entrance. Hollow. Thank you, friend. You will be remembered. What about Anor Londo ruins itself? Well, there were ghosts and even more ghosts. Thankfully, the ghosts didn't pose much threat to Levelus, as he was a qualified ghostbuster. Oh, also we found another Firekeeper soul, that's good, but except for this and ghosts, this place didn't reward us with anything useful. Okay, one more thing. We found a guy named Invert, who said he must watch the very important seal, whatever that means, but that's truly about it. I have a feeling that we'll return here later, but for now, to the fourth goal. If you think that our previous stuff wasn't that remarkable, well, I'll agree with you. But fear not, because this part of Levelus' journey will be filled to the brim with dangerous encounters, unexpected friends, and really good loot. In fact, we even decided to upgrade our rogue club one final time, to prepare for the horrors lurking there. I present to you the forest. But before we get truly deep inside this wild place, we've actually returned to some familiar place. Let me explain. We ventured inside a fortress, and then gone even deeper. At the bottom of this place we found another Black Knight guarding a green shield, this is important. Right near him there was a bonfire, and behind this bonfire was the Valley of Drakes. The place we came through when we were crawling out of the Blight Town. Whoa, see? Everything is connected. Where was I? Oh right, the valley. In this valley, Levelus met some drakes, as you could guess, found a second pretty ring, now in red color, and defeated an undead dragon. Pretty cool detour if you ask me. Now, let me tell you something about this forest. Officially, it is split into two parts, Darkroot Garden and Darkroot Basin, and we are currently exploring the basin part. Here we can see a big lake with a strange creature inside, some crystal golems, and a lonely tower. Levelus felt bad about this tower because he knew how it felt to be lonely. So this was our first stop. But someone lived inside the tower. A mean fella called Hollow the Rock. Sadly, he attacked our hero right as he saw him, so Levelus needed to put him down. The tower was even lonelier now. But the cool thing is, we've already been at this tower, at the very beginning of our journey, before fighting the Taurus demon. Next up, the lake. Turned out, the creature we saw at a distance was none other than the Hydra, the legendary beast from fairy tales. Levelus was super excited to measure his power against such a formidable foe. But the legends surely spoke about a different Hydra. A couple of hits for each of her heads, and she was done for, not really a challenge. Feeling a bit down after this fight, our hero decided to check the rest of the lake. Maybe the real Hydra was just hiding somewhere, ready to strike. But no luck there. Instead, he found a golden golem with a woman trapped inside. Better than nothing. He quickly freed her from this strange prison. She introduced herself as Dusk of Ulasil, a woman from another era. It was no doubt an interesting tale, but Levelus needed to fight something, and preferably something strong. So he parted ways with this peculiar woman, not before buying everything from her of course, and agreed to meet her again sometime. And this is it for Darkroot Basin. I'd say it wasn't that bad. Of course, Levelus was bummed about the weak Hydra, but he met a pretty lady, killed a beast and found Hyle's ring. Maybe the garden will satisfy our hero's will to fight. Let's go there and see. Following a path through the woods, Levelus found himself standing right beside a big metal door with a peculiar crest-shaped keyhole. What do we need to put there to unlock it? Surely it's an artorias crest that we've already bought from Andre. Lucky us! But before that, there was a different path to take, a path to the boss. Fighting off more living bushes and some sleepy stone guards, and also collecting the perfect armor for us. We found ourselves at the base of a small but certainly important tower, and on the bridge inside this tower we've met our next great enemy. Calling Moonlight Butterfly a great enemy is kind of an exaggeration. It's more like a stalling enemy, or a hard to reach with a glove enemy. Anyway, our hero just threw a couple of fireballs into this creature and obviously emerged victorious. And after climbing some staircases, which arguably were longer than this fight, he found a dead blacksmith holding some strange but pretty amber. Better to bring this stuff to Andre, maybe he will find some use for it. And now the door. Behind this door was a whole other part of the forest, but now it was filled with rival champions. Some human-looking guys started ganging up on our hero, but he successfully held them off on his first try. And then he saw the most magnificent creature in the whole universe. A chunky-looking cat, Alvina. But that's not all. This image of pure awesomeness could talk. Not just talk, but boss us around and give orders. Just like any normal cat. Being struck by this beauty, Levelus accepted her invitation without a second thought. So now he managed to join another covenant. At this point he's just collecting them. And the only requirement to join a kitty family was to protect the grave of some hero named Artorias. Protect whom you will sure ask. As always, home himself. After that, all that was left was just a small cleanup of this place. Or so it would seem, but actually there was a treasure waiting. The first thing Levelus stumbled upon was another cat, or cats to be precise. They were more playful than Alvina, so our hero took his sweet time to properly entertain them. Then we've met our old friends, the badass mushrooms, and they were just as dangerous as the last time. Finally, we found a treasure, and it was golem armor. Too heavy to wear now, but it will come in handy in the future. With this, the forest was almost cleared. Just one small thing remained, a door. After this door lay a hero's grave, so Levelus turned away and rushed back to Andre. What? He made a promise, and a promise is something you keep. Also, you are not ready to cry just yet. After this place, Levelus was ready to conquer the capital. But before that, he must face the final obstacle, Sand's Fortress, a monumental construction filled with danger and traps. And to do that, we need to gear up. For now, Levelus decided to wear elite knight armor and a fancy hat. But spoiler, he'll find an even better head in the future. Let's move out to the capital. But of course, being the last bastion before Anor Londo, it needed to be heavily guarded. And indeed it was. Meet the snake people. There were male lizards wielding a scimitar and a shield, and female lizards shooting lightning and attacking us with daggers. They were surely tough, but Levelus was even tougher. Being graceful and majestic as always, he managed to dodge all of the deadly traps and take a breather outside. And there he found his onion-shaped friend. Sigmaer gladly came inside when the doors opened, but sadly he found himself in trouble once again. Now there was a giant dropping boulders, stopping him from moving forward. Levelus was furious. No one is allowed to keep their friends from their goals, so he promised to help. And what a fortune! After running through some hallways, he found himself right near the lever controlling these boulders. He freed Sigmaer and also managed to break a wall, revealing a hidden passage. While exploring this opening, he found someone who seemed lost forever. Big Head Logan. This powerful mage looked just as his disciple told us about. His head was big. So, without thinking about it too much, Levelus set him free. We are sure that Greeks will be very glad to see his teacher alive. Maybe even we could learn a thing or two from him. Sadly, we are not. What else did we find inside this fun house? Well, I'm glad you asked. We found a chest, and while I was excitedly thinking about what lies inside, Levelus suddenly stopped. He thought for a moment and let out a long sigh full of disappointment. Then he took a strange charm out of his purse and threw it into this chest. What? It was actually a trap? A creature called Mimic was mimicking a chest? Thankfully, Levelus knew what a fine chest must look like. Sometimes even I am flabbergasted by our hero's brilliance. It's this head guy. So, being at the top of his game, Levelus finally reached the top. And there, he'd finally encountered giants throwing boulders at him. Remember, he already saw something like that earlier, so it wasn't a big deal. Giants were kind of an easy target for a hero. He is agile and light, and they're big and slow. So they were done for. He also met an unremarkable trader with very remarkable traits. Now, the only thing standing between him and his goal was the boss of this place. Well, that wasn't entirely true. Allow me to tell you a story about Levelus and the basement. Warning, this is a sad story. After conquering the top of this building, Levelus decided not to leave anything untouched and clean the basement. There was a catch. The floor in this basement was made out of oil, and that means we cannot normally traverse through it. Except we can, thanks to the old unremarkable ring we've collected inside the Undead Asylum. We are now able to ignore all of the movement restrictions. Let's go beat some Titanite demons. But you do remember what I've told you earlier. I hate Titanite demons. Well, it's time for you to learn why. We've beaten the first two easily, but the third one... Oh, the third one. Levelus was stuck for half an hour. Levelus just died, tried again, died, tried again. I was losing my mind here. But in the end, all's well that ends well. Come on, we've got the boss to beat. The Iron Golem was standing in our way. Who will emerge victorious? Who is the true champion? Who is worthy? Let us see in this glorious battle to the death. Wait, what do you mean it's over? This is a culmination, a final battle before our next chapter? Right, sorry. Levelus came on top once again. And his next stop is Anor Londo. By the way, check his new hat. So, we've defeated the Iron Golem and presumably unlocked the path to the capital. But where is that path? All I see is a giant wall standing in our way. Maybe this golden circle will cast some light on the situation. As soon as Levelus touched the circle, a group of strange imps grabbed him and started flying up. If he didn't know any better, he might have mistaken it for a trap. But it wasn't our first day, so our hero just relaxed and enjoyed the flight. This is it, the capital, the legendary city, Anor Londo. Levelus was brimming with happiness. This long-awaited place was now just beneath him. The flight ended shortly after that, and we were inside the city walls. Our excited hero thanked the transporter imp and went on his way. Of course, as always, the city guards weren't happy to see an intruder, but, if you remember, a king advisor friend sent us here. So, we were on official business visit, and the guards were just hollow. After dealing with them and looting some of the chests, we came to a nearest bonfire, and to make our visit even more unforgettable, we were greeted by the firekeeper of this place. She was friendly and, after a small chat, pointed our hero to a very important direction. She said that after thoroughly exploring this magnificent place, we should visit Lady Guinevere. She is expecting us. After this pleasant surprise, Levelus became even happier. I could actually feel his excitement in the air. This place just keeps on giving. Next up was the most beautiful sight in all of the Levelus adventures. We've just stood there for a moment enjoying the view. For now, this place fully lives up to our expectations. Following a path to the main cathedral, we've encountered another aggressive gargoyle. Same enemy, same easy fight. But the bridge was split up, so Levelus went to find an alternative path. And he found this path in the form of another dangerous parkour course, with enemies of course. Carefully traversing through beams on the ceiling, our hero finally reached the missing part of the bridge. Turns out it wasn't just any normal part, but a genius contraption made for citizens' convenience. He pulled the lever and the bridge was complete, but Levelus didn't want to stop there, so he pulled it again and went even lower. There he found a strange room with a huge statue of Gwyn, the ruler of this land. Admiring this true display of mastery, Levelus didn't notice how the Dark Monsieur's ring slipped on his finger. Turns out it was an illusory statue all along. And behind the statue he met another very important person, Gwyn's son, Gwendolyn. After paying his respects, Levelus asked to join his covenant. Oh, so we're still doing that. Now, guarding the capital became one of the Levelus's responsibilities. And the second path opened to our hero led us in the same room with just path near the ceiling. In this room there were a lot of enemies, but more importantly, a really beautiful painting. Our hero could feel that there was something very special about this particular painting. For starters, there was a whole building dedicated to it. But for now, Levelus decided to move on. We wouldn't want to leave the capital too early, right? The next part of the city might be my absolute favorite. Levelus needs to cross a thin path while being shot by archers. What? It's not that I'm enjoying when our hero struggles, but I think that is good for him. Shapes a character. Well, after two very unfortunate deaths, the first knight decided to stop this madness and fall off the facade. He won't be missed. With that, we finally got inside, but the miracles of this place are just beginning to blossom. In the next room we found Solaire. Our greatest friend made it to the city too. What a beautiful coincidence. We've chatted with him, even shared a moment. And what if we do? Then we've rested at the conveniently placed bonfire while also kindling it for the future. While our hero is resting, allow me to properly introduce you to the local guards. Silver Knights, the loyal servants of the Lord Gwyn, tasked with protecting the capital, truly worthy opponents. As for their power level, not really a threat. Levelus already fought their black counterpart, so there was nothing new to learn. But we also can't say that they are weak. Of course not, just that our hero's trainings were worth it. Let's go and explore this place. Who knows what treasures will we find? The first thing Levelus stumbled upon was a secret path to the basement. Levelus got some crazy intuition anytime there is a basement present. There we found a Havel's gear, a very good find, and a mimic which Levelus swiftly took care of. Then we found a second mimic and the item was... that's strange. I can't recall what was inside this monster. It seems that my memory is being blocked by something strange indeed. Many fights our hero encountered on his exploration of this magnificent building. Some he won and some he lost, but obviously won more. And with every new room he just couldn't resist but admire the architecture of this place. It was simply unmatched. But his favorite part was the paintings. He just stood there and looked. But wait, who is this in the window? It's Sigmayor. This place just keeps on giving. Levelus quickly made his way to his friend and learned that he had once again found himself in a peculiar situation. There were hostile guards blocking our companion exit. Well, Levelus could be called many things, but a bad friend is not one of them. So he clenched his club and rushed to fight these things. As always, he was successful. Levelus thanked our hero, and after we shared a pleasant chat, we went our separate ways. I've got good and bad news. Which should I tell you first? Right, got you, the good one. We found a new armor. Now Levelus can be even more stunning, gentlemen. And now the bad news. We found another Titanite demon. He was certainly strong, but that wasn't the main problem. The arena was. One of the smallest rooms in the castle, containing the biggest and strongest enemy. But after 15 minutes of attempts, a countless number of deaths, and thanks to Hyvel's armor and a full negation shield, Levelus finally emerged victorious. After this hard-fought battle, Levelus arrived to his destination. But before exploring the Great Hall, we've made a small detour, and there we've met a new friend. It was a love on first sight. A giant blacksmith may have trouble with words, but he immediately offered to help us and to make us stronger. Also, he had called us a friend. It's almost the time for the main course of the evening, but before that we must eat our appetizer, revenge. The black eye orb began to twitch when we set foot in the main hall, and that meant Lothrop was here. We found this traitor, he will pay for his crimes. Wait, what? This is not what Levelus was thinking. Who is it? I am surely just imagining things. Our main goal is to save our fire picker. Revenge is secondary. So with this novel goal in mind, Levelus clenched weapons with Lothrop and his goons, and with the use of a really clever tactic, emerged victorious. His reward, the soul of the firekeeper. Now we just need to return to a Firelink shrine, and she will live again. But before that, he must face the boss of this place. This part of our journey could be described with one simple word: perfection. I'm sorry, but I just cannot contain my excitement while meeting this boss. Starting with a beautiful introduction, we now understood that this fight is different from what we've faced before. First of all, there are two of them, the strongest champions in the capital, the legendary Knight of Wind Ornstein, and a despicable monster that enjoys the suffering of his victims, Executioner's Maul. Let's see how well Levelus will fare against them. Well, and what did you expect? That Levelus would suddenly beat one of the hardest bosses on the first try? No chance, we're in for a ride. And while our hero is pushing himself past his limits, allow me to ramble about this fight. As I have already said earlier, this is a perfect boss battle, but now I will share why I love it so much. First, this is the first duo battle in the game, and this isn't the same enemy used twice, looking at Humanitor, but a perfect symbiote that complete each other. Ornstein is fast, so he will strike at every possible opportunity, and while small size and speed could make him a perfect target, this is actually a trap, because he's got a couple of tricks up his sleeve. His main objective is to block the character's movements and, more importantly, the line of sight, opening an opportunity for Ornstein. This is just peak game design. Oh wait, something is happening in the fight. It seems that Levelus has successfully beaten one of them. Let's watch. Alright, a second phase. And this is the second point. Choice. The flow of this fight is fully in the hands of a player. You need to pick one enemy and focus your attacks on him. In our journey we obviously chose to kill Small first. It's really a no-brainer for a huge Ornstein stan like me, but also this is harder. After the first defeated enemy you must fight a powered up version of the remaining boss. In our case, Ultimate Ornstein. Hey, have you seen it? Something strange is happening with Levelus. It's like he's glitching. I hope he's alright there. We'll check on him after the fight. And the last thing why I like this boss battle so much is the difficulty. At soul level 1 this fight gave me so many emotions. It's like I'm fighting them for the first time. Usually when you get to them you are strong enough to kill the first one in 30 seconds and it's just a one-on-one battle, but not this time. This time I was able to fully experience everything that this magnificent encounter had to offer. As I've stated, perfect. Sorry again for the inconvenience, but I think Levelus is very close to victory. Holy, Levelus has done it! After 2 hours and countless attempts, he has finally won. I've never doubted our champions, he is a true hero after all. Let's check what lies after this boss. I just hope glitching has stopped. Just past this boss we found a bonfire, where we could take a small rest and replenish our flasks. Levelus seemed fine enough and actually quite happy. Of course, not every day you see such formidable opponents. Now we can get back to exploring, and the final door was right before our eyes. Behind this door there was something no one could ever expect. A huge beautiful lady that warmly greeted our hero. And then he...
Transgression shall not go unpunished. Thou shalt perish in the twilight of Anor Londo.
bends his knee. What just happened? Is Levelus alright? Who was that? Is this real? Am I the only one who felt it? Okay, she called herself Guinevere and gave her hero a legendary treasure named the Lord Vessel. With this, we will be able to help this country and to effortlessly travel between bonfires. Thank God Levelus joined her covenant. I'm starting to worry about this situation. Before saying our goodbyes to this place, Levelus thought it would be a good idea to visit the blacksmith. So, we came back to the Great Hall. This is surely bad. Now we know that Levelus feels the surge too. We must think about how to fix this soon, before he does something truly irredeemable. With that thought, we've arrived at our blacksmith friend. Why is he here again? Stop this nonsense right now! This is our friend, don't hurt him. Another vision, another display of violence. Maybe someone in the city will be able to help us. Let's ask Gwendolyn for help. Before I could even say it, Levelus was already on his way. I could sense his fears, the crawling doubts, the panic that all of this could just be real. And then it struck us, another vision. He claimed another victim. I can feel this crazy hunger, this desire to kill, but also a message he is trying to tell us something. He wants us to stop. After taking the elevator to see Gwendolyn, we've stopped at his doorstep. What is this thing doing? He's inviting us, he wants to show us something. And we have no rights to refuse. Our next vision, or it would be right to call it a show, began at the same place where we are currently staying. Except the evil creature wasn't intending to talk with Gwendolyn, it wanted to slay him. This dark being came through a fog wall and met with the god face to face. It wasn't a fight, it was a game. A hunter playing with its prey, giving it a false hope. This entity disposed of Gwendolyn and returned us to our world. The message was as clear as day: don't go there. This being wasn't playing with Gwendolyn, it was playing with us. We were his prey, his main course, his reward for existing. I guess there is no escape. How can you fight something you cannot touch, cannot feel, cannot stop? There is only one way left for a hero: to return to his journey, with this treacherous thing inside him, to return to a file in Shire. Got you. You're right where we want you to be. You're coming with us. We're back, baby. Got you too? Huh? Well, sorry about that, but when someone is making your mind and body his domain, you need to fool everyone to win. Welcome to the Painted World. A world for broken, lost and unwanted. A perfect place to get rid of a pesky parasite. Nice of Levelus to remember this unremarkable doll. Now I owe him for it. As for how we will dispose of this creature, haha, no idea. But the important thing is, he cannot escape this place. The bonfires are broken and we've got all the time in the world to figure it out. For now, this clingy beast lies dormant. Better for us, we can explore this area to our heart's content. As I always do, allow me to introduce you to the local fauna. We've got naked hollows, right, pyromancer blobs, plague rats, skeleton wheels, two-legged crows, an undead dragon. Remind me to show you a cool trick, and a pile of soldiers that vaguely reminds me of someone. Skeleton wheels were as dangerous as always, and they managed to kill Levelus a couple of times. Let's pretend that this is his way to get the parasite out. But after winning the rolling contest, our hero turned the lever and opened a path to the boss. Before that, we met a second undead dragon and removed the un part from his name. Also, thank you for reminding me. This is a cool trick I promised. Just attack the dragon legs with a jumping strike and the legs will stand up in confusion. Last but not least, we found a new ember, this time in black. We had to fight some crows for it, but I hope it was worth it. Oh, I've almost forgotten, some strange pyromancer came to our world. He was strong, but not as strong as our trusted club. And with that, it is time to banish the beast. After passing through the corridor full of enemies, it was kind of hard. We came to a fog gate. Someone was waiting for us behind this gate. Someone who could possibly help us. The beautiful half-dragon lady named Priscilla. She was banished to this world because of the danger she posed to the gods. And that is precisely what we needed her for. Of course, she wasn't happy to see us in her world. We don't belong here, as she said. But before we could explain our situation to her, the beast arrived. He saw this beautiful lady, heard her gentle voice, and the only thing crossing through his mind was murder. He started to attack her relentlessly, he even cut her tail off, but the thing is, she wasn't some defenseless victim. She took out her scythe and held her ground against this maniac, but her strength alone wasn't enough to defeat him. And so, Levelus mustered up all of his courage, all of his resolve, and all of his respect for this gorgeous lady. He remembered Quillet and how he failed to save her, and he also remembered her sister, who was still waiting for him. With this newfound strength, he managed to misguide the strikes of his evil counterpart, saving himself and Priscilla in the process. He bowed to her, asking for a fatal strike. With this, the story of Levelus Maximus continues. We won! Of course, our plans never included hurting Priscilla. We simply wanted to ask her to kill Levelus to get rid of the parasite, but he appeared too soon. Allow me to explain. While we were in our main world, this creature could just hop between worlds to avoid us. But when we forced him into this place, with one of the strongest creatures in existence, there was nowhere left to run. So, when Priscilla hit Levelus with her life-stealing scythe, she managed not only to banish this fiend back to his own world, but also to cut the threads of fate tying our worlds together. Enough with explanations, we've got a heroine to thank. We've made it back to her arena, fully explained the situation to her, and thanked our new friend from the bottom of our hearts. She was really glad that we were okay, and I'm happy that this evil creature will never disturb anyone again. After that, we've said our goodbyes, but agreed to visit her later, this time without evil entities inside any of us. You know, this is the reason Levelus is a true hero. Any other person would be relieved that this nightmare is over, but just not Levelus. He was happy that he got to meet this amazing lady, and that he now can call her a friend. And now we may safely return to the Fire Shrine to open a new page of our journey. Oh, you wonder what happened to Dark Levelus. I guess he now lives in the cursed world he created for himself. A Fire Shrine. It's nice to finally get back here. After all the challenges and hardships, we've come to a place we can call home. And an unexpected but surely welcome visitor was already here, Sigmaer. We've welcomed our friend and enjoyed a brief conversation full of mutual respect. It was nice to see our friend happy. Also, we quickly checked how our mage friends are doing, and thanks to that we learned that Big Head Logan plans to visit a new place called the Duke's Archives. I think we will assist him with that. Then it was time for our most important task, reviving a Firekeeper. Levelus prayed to all of the gods he knew and it worked. After placing her soul back inside her body, she started breathing. What a relief! But wait, that's not all. She regained the ability to speak. Talk about unexpected. Of course, for her talking was a surprise too, so she wasn't ready to talk with us. But knowing that we saved her was the perfect reward by itself. With our Firekeeper saved and bonfire working again, you must prepare yourself, because right now we will witness something majestic. A new armor! There was a huge reason why we've killed Small first, and that's to get our hands on Ornstein's armor. Look how crazy good it fits, and the stats are pretty nice. Say welcome to the new Levelus, now wearing gold. Our trip to the capital rewarded us with something other than resolve. And no, I don't mean a new armor. I'm talking about a legendary treasure, Lord Vessel. So now is a good time to report to our local serpent. Friend was flabbergasted that we managed to get it. Well, nothing strange here. He had waited 1,000 years for the right hero, and turned out this hero is Levelus Maximus. We decided not to keep our advisor waiting any longer and agreed to... wait. Why is he opening his mouth? Ah! Holy, we're alive, and I thought we were Serpentfoot now. I'm glad to be wrong. Let's place down our Lord Vessel. I guess this is a good thing. Now we're able to travel even deeper into this country, and our new objective is to get the 4 great souls: Thief the Scaleless, Witch of Isolith, Gravelord Nito, and the 4 kings. The goals are set, let's go! And our first stop is the Duke's Archives. Right beside our first bonfire in Anor Londo there was another path, a path leading us inside the Great Library, or, in other words, the home of Thief the Scaleless. On our way we've met 2 of our old acquaintances, boars, but holy, what kind of experiments were they conducting in this place? Disgusting! Prepare yourself, Derriere, the Duke's Archives aren't the most family-friendly place, so proceed at your own risk. After relinquishing these poor boars from their suffering, we've arrived at the main building. We found an ordinary batch of naked hollows there, well, maybe not. They too were subjected to inhumane experiments, so their bodies turned into crystal. Levelus fists were eager to meet the manager of this place and to put an end to those horrors, and soon he will get his chance. But before that we found a strange pendant with a strange nostalgic smell. It was like it came from the past. Let's take a mental note and move on. After thoroughly looting this place, we've arrived to the elevator and found ourselves right beside the manager's office. But to go inside, we must first defeat Sith Crystal's secretary. He actually managed to kill Levelus and to put him inside a fun game, dying while trying to call back the elevator. No matter, the secretary was defeated, now to the main threat. This, the Scales, is not a fool. Of course, he's a traitor, but also a genius scientist, so he was prepared. He managed to utilize the only weakness of our hero, a small elevation. In this futile battle, Levelus wanted at least to entertain our viewers and to die to a curse, but even that was out of our reach. After this unfair fight, Levelus wanted to appoint a rematch, and he would do it if only we weren't put in jail. Thankfully, Levelus was already trained in prison breaking, so in the first 5 seconds inside we'd already got the key. But doors weren't the only way to keep inmates in check. As soon as we left our cell, a strange sound filled the prison. It was a song? Well, a good song is always a welcome addition, only this particular song wasn't good. Maybe it was a clever plan to punish prisoners with good taste to go deeper? In attempts to make this cursed melody stop, we will write that down as canon. But me and Levelus weren't the only ones with musical taste. A whole other group of inmates were losing their minds. Another unfortunate victims of Sith experiments. This group was transformed into half snake, half squid monsters. We've helped them the only way we could, by putting them down. I guess there is no cure for squidness yet, and with that we finally managed to turn off the music. This would have been a conclusion to our jail adventures, but we found one of our friends here. Well, half friends. What a surprise meeting! A great mage, Big Head Logan, trapped once again. Let's get out and search for the key. Of course, he wasn't our closest companion, but it still felt wrong to leave him here. After breaking out from this trap, we've arrived at a different path of the library. A happy coincidence indeed. There we've met a couple of very annoying dancing mages who always try to teleport right after we struck them. A rotating staircase with a secret chest and the most important find, a bonfire. It seems like we've already explored almost every room this place has to offer, and after defeating a sleeping mimic, we've also got a key to Logan's cell. Okay, we should go and free him now. Nice, a firekeeper soul. That mage is so strange. Not 5 minutes ago we freed him from jail, and he already found some place to stay and open up a shop. This diligence is kind of admirable. As a thank you gift, he also changed his mind and offered to teach us his spells. That's better. Now he counts as a friend. Oof, with all that dust, Levelus's mind might wander off too. Let's go outside and breathe for a bit. Also, while we're at it, might as well punch some crystal golems. Oh, a golden one. Interesting. Maybe there is something inside him? Sigmar? How in the world? Turns out it wasn't Sigmar. Levelus got that after hearing a female voice. But this situation was even stranger than that. She kind of was Sigmar. Okay, it's a joke. We've met Sieglind, the daughter of our friend, and she's on a quest of her own. Her goal is to find her father, and with that we would gladly assist. Good thing we've checked the inside of this golem. It would be sad if we missed a daughter of our best friend. But I feel our journey here is almost over. Let's move out, we've got a manager to beat. Crystal Cave was a dangerous place. Half of the time the floor was invisible and the other half it was slippery. Luckily, this predicament proved to be quite helpful. One of the guards fell off, and another had trouble following us. We can see it, a crystal that holds Sith immortality. We just need to beat some strange clans, don't look inside, and we can destroy it. But of course, as soon as we got close, the boss himself appeared. Sadly, I cannot say that this fight was a challenge. Like, okay, we've died a couple of times, but then we knew that the danger lies in his tails. So we've cut the main one. After that we've just dodged the curses and hit his belly. For a dragon he was really weak, maybe that's why he decided to betray them all. While being lost in thoughts, Levelus didn't even notice his victory, but we did it. The dragon was slain, Lord Soul acquired, and the experiment stopped. A pretty fulfilling accomplishment, so congratulations are in order. After dealing with this place, we needed to rest. And what is the best place to rest but a hot spring? So we're off to the Lost Izalith. But before we continue our main adventure, I think now is a good time for some side quests. You've gained some experience, collected plenty of useful goods, so it's time for another upgrade. There are two main paths Levelus could take to make himself stronger. A new club and a more powerful pyromancy. Let's start by sparkling our flames, and to do that we need to visit Blighttown once again. There we found Quilana and upgraded our glove. Well, this wasn't the real reason we brought you here. Truth is, we've got another set of goals in this poisonous place. And the first quest includes Quilana herself. Seeing that we are now a powerful pyromancer and that we plan on going inside Lost Izalith, she asked us for a little favor. She told us that she's another sister of Quilek and a daughter of the Witch of Izalith. But the good thing is, she managed to escape the curse that turned all of them into monsters. That is amazing news. That means Quilek's sister? Well, this is now confusing. I mean the sick lady won't be alone anymore. Her sister will be there to help, but for her to safely do that, we first need to free her mother from the curse. Okay, the word free may be a little bit far-fetched, we need to kill the monster she now became, and by that put her soul at peace. This is a noble goal, and the fair lady will benefit from that too. So, for Levelus this was obligatory. That's it for Quilana, but that isn't it for our trip. The next person we've met was Shiva from the Dark Forest. He was here as a simple merchant, selling rare weapons and a peculiar ring. We've bought the ring for our collection, but weapons posed little interest to us. Just when we were planning to leave this place, Levelus caught a glimpse of a familiar silhouette. Is this Sigmayor? Well, yes it is. He managed to get himself into another peculiar situation. Luckily, we were there to assist. This is what friends are for. We've given some of our purple moss to him, so now he can safely reach his destination. But we are not done with the Onion family, cause right after returning back to Fire Shrine, we've met Sieglind. She asked us if we knew where she could find her father, and ignoring how funny this situation is, we've told her where to go next. Whew. For now, we're done with Blighttown, so our next goal was to upgrade our club. To do that, we've come to our old friend Andre, but his upgrade paths were kind of stale. To meet the horse lying before our hero, he needed something new, something sparkling. Levelus decided to pay a visit to another blacksmith, a giant from Anor Londo, and there he found the perfect upgrade. Our new club was imbued with lightning. It felt stronger, significantly stronger. We need to take it on a test drive, and what enemy is a better target than our longtime foe, the Breach Wyvern. Fate truly blessed us today. Right after arriving at the breach, we've met our best friend Slayer. Sadly, it seemed he was going through a hard time, but Levelus was there for him. Not so long ago, he himself made it through an identity crisis. So, our hero offered his support and promised to never give up on Slayer. Promises. Funny things there. After this chat, it was time to test our new weapon. Of course, the first try ended prematurely because the Wyvern still was a formidable foe. But the second attempt brought us a victory. The Wyvern was slain, and with our new weapon, we were ready to conquer the hot springs. Once again we've returned to our fair lady, and this time we've even brought her a gift. If we succeeded in our journey, she will reunite with her sister and live happily ever after. This is the future we fight for. Our descent to the Lost Izalith began from a familiar place, Demon Ruins, where we already fought ceaseless discharge, and because of that the lava lake already was frozen. But the lava wasn't the only obstacle waiting for us. Remember that Taurus demon? Well, now there are 7 of them. Holy, this is a lot of enemies. What would we do without our new club? There were also some items that we weren't able to retrieve yet. We first need to learn how to walk on lava. Oh, look who this is, the Capra demon. I guess it makes sense seeing as this is a homeland of demons after all, but it still feels strange to see that many of them. We've also met our old enemy, Kirk. We've already met him inside the sewers, and he wasn't a challenge this time either. Demon Ruins wasn't a big or dangerous place, so there isn't much to tell you about. We've beaten some stone sculptures, some armor-breaking worms, found an ember, and arrived at the huge closed door. This door. For some reason Levelus felt like it was something really important. Like if he didn't find a way to open this door, something really awful would happen. Let's investigate it later. For now, we've arrived at another boss. Oh, it's one of them once again. Well, the Fire Sage demon was defeated just as easily as his Asylum brothers. Boring. Well, after this uneventful meeting, we just have to show you something interesting, and luckily, this something was waiting for us pretty close. Taking a long staircase deeper into this land, we found another fog gate. Can it be another boss? It absolutely can. Meet the Centipede demon. Maybe this fight can't be called the most complicated one, but it had some clever ideas. For one, the floor is lava. Literally, we cannot stand on it. You would ask, how are we supposed to fight this boss if we can't traverse the arena? And to that I will say, by fishing! Firstly, we need the bait. It would be Levelus. Secondly, we need the fish. It would be Centipede Demon. Well, that's it. We are showing the bait to the fish and waiting for it to get closer. Of course, we failed the first time, but on the second we managed to cut off his attacking arm and acquire an anti-lava ring. No more baiting, now we fight. And after that, this boss battle was as good as done. We've hit this beast with our new club and the fish was caught. Good job, Levelus, you truly are a masturbator. At the bonfire, after the boss, we've met our friend once again. This time, Salaire was in a really bad state. He wouldn't hear a word Levelus was saying, he just kept mumbling something about his son. The situation is dire, we need to find something to help our friend. We cannot lose him, we made a promise. Thinking about what could help our friend, Levelus remembered the items that were inaccessible before. So we decided to go and quickly collect them. Sadly, it was a soul and a chaos ember. Good stuff, but nothing to help Salaire. After returning to the bonfire, Salaire was gone. It must be a good thing, right? If he's gone, then he is able to move, and that means he has still got a fight inside of him. But on the other hand, it isn't smart to let a lost man wander off by himself. He might get killed. Thinking about it wouldn't help. We need to go and search for him. To the lost Izalith. To say that this place was strange is to say nothing. Imagine a huge lava pool and a bunch of undead dragon legs. Well, these were our first impressions about the lost Izalith. Using a conveniently laid path, we managed to arrive at the island without alerting any of the legs. On this island we found another path, this time leading up. Now, following this path, we arrived at another island. I think that I'm repeating myself. But no matter, we found a bonfire. Heading forward from this bonfire, we finally reached our goal, the Temple of Lost Izalith. Finally, an interesting place to explore. Holy cow, what is this monstrosity? I don't even know how to call it. Ew! Like, okay, let's call them Hungry Tentacles. Not the best name, but a funny one. Just past this monstrosity, we've run into another pyromancy woman. I guess she's another sister of Quilex. And look who this is! Kirk again! I'm starting to like this guy. Well, for that brief moment that we fought, he was just as weak as the last time. While exploring this place, we found a strange opening. Ah! Ha! That was super scary. Thank God we managed to land on a ceiling and not inside this welcoming pit. Sigmar, what are you doing in this nasty place? Let's kill this beast and get out. Preemptively killing a couple of these creatures from the high ground, we've come to speak with Sigmar. It turned out this lovely goof wants to sacrifice himself for our survival. Of course, this is a noble thing to do, but Levelus can't let his second best friend make this sacrifice. So we've collected all of our resolve and jumped inside the pit. Together with Sigmar we've killed the last of the hungry tentacles. I must say that the moment Sigmar was eaten was the scariest moment in my whole life. But he managed to make it out unharmed. All's well that ends well. Whew, now that Sigmar decided to relax and recover his strength, we must crawl out of this trap without worries. But, seeing that we've almost done with this place, the worries started to rise. Where is Salaire? There was just one path left, a path through the Titanite demon. So I've got 3 news for you, the good, the bad and the ugly. The good, this is the last Titanite demon in the game. The bad, he respawns. The ugly, we've spent 20 minutes of constant attempts to kill him. Wait, we've seen this door earlier. And is this Salaire? Whew, thank God you're alright, buddy. We were really worried about you.
My very own son. I am the son. I've done it. I have. Yes. I think.
Well, shit, this is really bad. And I mean really, really bad. It seemed like our friend was controlled by something, some kind of parasite. This is a bad moment to panic. Let's think about what can be done. Right, the fair lady, she should know something about parasites. Maybe if we give her all of our stored humanities, she will be able to speak with us. No luck. Shit! But something changed, there was a strange click, we need to check it out. Hey, the door is open. Think, damn it. There must be some way to save him. Anything goes. Stop, take a deep breath. We've come this far not by panicking and throwing a tantrum. There is a way to save him. It's just that we don't know about it yet. For now, we must do what we can. Every moment that Salaire is controlled, he is in pain. We must do what is right and put him out of this misery. This is the only thing we can do for now.
Oh, it's over. My son. It's dark. So dark.
Sorry, friend. We will find a way to fulfill our promise. Just wait for a little bit longer. Hello there! Well, you've seen it for yourself. We've got a new goal. The only thing I kindly ask of you, believe in us. We will save Salaire. And for now, the time has come to save the Witch of Izalith, to finally put an end to her suffering. Here she is, the Bed of Chaos. Well, this is a new one. What you've seen is not actually a boss. This is... So, how can we defeat a tree? By cutting off its branches. The left half was easy enough, just run there and cut some sticks. But then the boss was activated. Now this is the parkour challenge. The floor is crumbling and the boss finally does something. Sadly, Levelus wasn't the best jumper, so he used a clever trick to reach the second branch. He died. After that, the boss entered its final form. And it was what you've seen when I first presented the boss. The bad thing, now we need to jump even more. Levelus failed a couple of times, but after some time he finally managed to land safely on the right path. From there it was just a matter of rolling forward and hitting a bug with a club. The second great soul was acquired, we're done here. But before we go, we need to tell the good news to Quilene. Her task is complete, she may live in peace and reconnect with her sister now. It's nice to see a happy ending for once. Seeing as we are now done with Lost Izalith, it is time to choose a new location to visit. And seeing that we've got new Fire Ember to give to Lemus, the Tomb of Giants seems like a perfect destination. At the Fallen Shrine we once again encountered a member of the Onion family. Sieglind was still searching for her father, only now she knew where to find him. That must be good. And now that's not good. But in any case, we must witness the reunion. Hopefully it will go well. Once again, we found ourselves running through the cemetery and into the catacombs, but this time we knew a quick way down. By carefully falling from some cliffs, we've reached the bottom. From there, we greet our old pal Manus, only this time we've brought gifts. By giving him our newly acquired embers, he was able to imbue one of our clubs with fire, certainly a useful element to have. At this point, Levelus started to think why he should restrict himself to only one club. From the blacksmith he knew there were many different ways to infuse a weapon. He definitely should create and upgrade them all. After that we passed through Pinwheel's coffin and arrived at the Tomb of Giants. Why is it so dark here? Someone forgot to pay their electricity bill? The next series of events are nothing short of poetic. Remember the sunlight maggots that drew our friend Matt? Yeah, the same one we've collected from Solar's dead body. Well, Levelus decided that this thing must atone for its sins and act as a bright guide in our quest to save our friend. As I've said, poetic and really convenient. Our hosts once again were skeletons, only this time the roster changed. Only the biggest of boys are allowed to venture this deep. But if you think that Levelus was already accustomed to fighting them, well, you will be just half right. Of course, the basic skeletons didn't pose much threat to our hero, but there were some additional fighters, mainly the... Wait a second, I think we will savor this reveal. But don't worry, the encounter we're about to witness may be even more interesting than the reveal. Meet Patches, the handsome traveler whose head shines brighter than any treasure in this land. The only thing is, our dialogue was kind of strange. He asked if we were clerics, and after learning that we are not, he offered us a free treasure lying on a cliff. Well, who are we to refuse a free treasure? Let's collect it. Hey, this wasn't nice. How could he betray someone he just met? We will hold a serious discussion with him after we escape. But wait, who is it I see? Lady Rhea? Turns out she was a prisoner of this place too, and the worst part is that her companions turned hollow. Should be an easy cleanup for us. A couple of hits with a club and the coast was clear. Good thing we arrived at the right time. Now, with a clear path ahead, Lady Rhea might get to safety unharmed. But we still need to check on her later. Safe to say, we still had some unfinished business here, mainly Patches. So, after disposing of some strange skelly towers, we managed to crawl out of imprisonment. Where is that trickster? Oh, he's still here. After seeing Levelus' disappointed face, Patches knew he had done something wrong. Because of that, he tried to frame all of the events as a joke. But after the situation with Lautrec, our hero wasn't that easy to fool. Okay, our hero forgave him after receiving a gift, but allow me to play a devil's advocate for a moment. Lautrec tried to pose as our friend and then killed someone close to us. And Patches tried to kill us as soon as we've met, so no bias. And he also set up some clerics we hardly knew. I hope you see the difference. Also, his gift was good. And now the time has come for a big reveal. Witness the scariest monster in Lordran. Brr, scary. Meet Skelly Dogs. A new nightmare fuel for yours truly. They look awful and hit like a truck. May you never encounter something like this in your entire life. Moving on, we are almost done with this dark place. Of course, Levelus spent some amount of time here, dying, defeating dogs and collecting loot, but for our story it isn't really important. What is important is that we found a vagrant in this place. Well, okay, this isn't important, but still very rare. Right after we've reached a bright area, a red phantom appeared before us. Paladin Leroy was a mighty foe and he managed to defeat Levelus once, but because of that setback we've stopped and looked closely at our surroundings. We can see Ash Lake from here. Maybe this place will be a key to saving Solaire. Thanks Leroy, thanks and goodbye. Inside the next room we've met someone I already teased you about. Small skeletons! This is my interpretation, and this is how they really look. Yes, I can't see the difference either. Also, there are a lot of pinwheelians in this room, that means the boss is close. After taking a plunge, we met the big man himself, Gravelord Nito, risen from his grave. And I guess he was really saddened by this predicament, or why else he would scream like that. No matter, we managed to defeat his soldiers, and with that we've got ourselves a 1-on-1 fight, maybe 2-on-1 if you count me. Thanks to that, we easily managed to defeat this so-called Gravelord, and this time I really mean easily, it was our first try. Our third Great Soul was acquired. Seems like we were indeed the right heroes to ask. And also, we've got a lead on saving Slayer. Now, let's follow it. Now, before we investigate our first lead, it would be smart to investigate our other sources of information before acting on it. Why? Because we felt like it. And the first stop is Lady Rhea from Tomb of Giants, a professional cleric. And we can find her right under the first bell, inside a church. There we talked for a moment, bought a couple of miracles and learned what truly happened with their expedition. They truly were victims of the betrayal, only not from Patches, but from our old acquaintance, Petrus. That little brat, let's see what he has to say. Nothing about this matter, so for now let's let him be. But after we returned to Lady Rhea, she disappeared from the church. And the next time we met her was inside the Duke's prison, where, without being able to forgive herself for the death of her close ones, she had already gone hollow. May you find your peace, Lady Rhea, and now is a good time to take the trash out. Hi Petrus, it's time to die. Rotten hell, you filthy traitor. And that's it for our info gathering. Nothing helpful here. Our second stop was Patches, now relocated to the Fallen Shrine. It's nice to have someone with a sense of humor around, so we allowed him to stay. But aside from some useful items and cheeky remarks, he didn't have much to offer. Well, maybe the mages will offer some insight to us. From Greeks we've learned some sorceries and the fact that he was planning to go after his teacher. Hopefully he would make it there. We decided to follow his footsteps and also paid a visit to Andre to upgrade one of our other clubs. This time a divine one. Yeah, after we were already done with skeletons. So, let's see if Greeks has made it. Sorry, but he did not. We found him inside Sen's fortress, Hollow. Well, no, we would have found him there, but for some reason he died from natural causes. Goodbye, Greeks. We liked you. As for his master, Big Head Logan, we've decided to visit him as our next stop. And seeing as he was continuously losing his mind, we bought all of the sorceries he had, just in case. And with nothing to teach us now, he fully succumbed to madness. We found him hollowed, at the arena where our first battle with Sith took place. There was nothing left to do but to grant him a painless death, so we did just that. Thank you for teaching us, Master Logan, for the last spell in this land and for a new ember. Why does everyone we meet end up hollow? This doesn't seem like a coincidence to me. Maybe some greater will is responsible for all of that. And you know, maybe we cannot save everyone, but at least we can still save Slayer. We just need to find a way. Thinking about it, there was only one place to go next. Ash Lake. After everything that happened with Levelus on his journey, there is one thing I can say for certain. The path to a tree is just as hellish as the first time. And the mushrooms are just as cute. Hey, do my eyes deceive me? Is this who I think it is? A Hydra! Holy! We found her! There is no other way! This place is just too hidden for it to be a sham. This is a real Hydra from Legends. What a time to be alive! But our celebration was cut short. While coming closer to the bonfire, we've seen our dearest friends. Sieglind was standing near Sigmair's body. After all this time, even he had gone hollow. We've learned what happened from Sieglind and she confirmed all of our dreaded suspicions. It's all over for him. But you know what? After seeing so many of his comrades going hollow, he understood something. Maybe Sigmair is no longer with us, but his legacy lives on inside his great daughter and inside us, his greatest friend. So, in the end, he left a huge mark on this world. And this is something no one could ever take from him. You know, I'm sure Sigmair wouldn't want all of us to sit there and mope around. We must hold a feast in his glory. And we know just the enemy to slay for it. Come on, Hydra, a legendary beast for a legendary warrior. You will be defeated on behalf of the greatest fighter from the Katarina, Sigmair. This battle was legend, wait for it, daring. Levelus and the Hydra traded blows, and at every point of this fight, any of them could emerge victorious, but the desire to honor his fallen friend gave our hero so much resolve that no beast could stand in his way. And after this long battle, our hero had slain the legendary beast. The Hydra had been defeated. Rest in peace, our dear friend. Your legacy will never fade. After all of this, Levelus needed to clear his head, so he made a decision to take a little stroll and explore Ash Lake. There he encountered another batch of basilisks, a couple of mushroom warriors. Then he met some clams, and that was almost it. Ash Lake is undoubtedly a really pretty place, but it seems that the Hydra was its biggest landmark. Hey, look, another vagrant, lucky us. Wait, who is this in the distance? A huge dragon that seems friendly? What a surprise! And what is it? He's offering a covenant to join? Oh right, Levelus is already... never change, friend. Wait, don't cut his tail, this isn't very nice. Oh, you've done it. But he doesn't seem to mind. This was certainly an unexpected find, and Levelus got some strange stone. Let's try it out. Hey, this is fascinating. Now Levelus' head became a head of a dragon. It could even breathe fire. Simply amazing. Well, the ability itself, not its usefulness. I think it's time to head back. Our onion-shaped friends were gone. I hope Sieglind will find her happiness wherever she is going. Best of luck to you, friend. I'm happy that we managed to help her on her journey. May we meet again someday. The trip to Ash Lake was surely full of events, but we still didn't find anything useful for saving Slayer. I guess there is one more place to explore. We're back at this ghost town once again. At least this time we know what we're looking for. A great soul. I guess Ingvar could point us in the right direction. Let's go talk to him. But before that, we've also got a couple of new embers for the blacksmith. Richard of Windheim, that's his name, is in charge of all the magic weapons. So it's a good thing that we've managed to upgrade his abilities. And now it's time to find the boss, but we still didn't know how to access the lower part of Anor Londo. Yeah, right, Ingvar. And here he is. Seeing that now we have acquired the Lord Vessel, he was willing to help us. In his own words, we are now able to fight the hordes hiding inside this drowned town, and to venture into the abyss itself. With this key, we managed to open the floodgates and to flush the water. Now, nothing is stopping us from getting the Force Lord Soul. The flooded parts of the city were home for the members of a dark and evil organization, the Dark Wraith. They intended to drain every ounce of humanity this world still possessed, and that meant they were natural enemies of Levelus. But our hero didn't intend to just wait and die. He took every member of this organization head on and, as always, emerged victorious. Apart from those monsters, there was another enemy, a gruesome pile of flesh. It could have been a scary enemy, but after seeing the skeledogs, some tortured blobs just didn't face him. Also, we found our last ember. This is it. Levelus clenched his fists and began descending the stairs. Soon the path was no more. Our hero mastered his courage and jumped down. Only to die seconds after. Maybe the abyss really is an unusual place. Maybe one cannot simply stroll into it. Maybe we need a special tool. Hey, what was all that talk about artorias. Legend says he was able to walk inside the abyss. Okay, only one place we could check for artorias' belongings. His grave. Feeling closer to the end of his journey, Levelus once again went to Quilana to ascend his pyromancy flame. The fights that await us will require every bit of strength we can master. After once again passing through a forest, here it was. We once again found ourselves before this door. The door we promised not to open. While Levelus was crossing the bridge, all of his thoughts started to pour out of him. Truly possible to change the past. How could one even come to the past? A legendary Hydra? A pendant? Eureka! There is a way to save Solaire. Why didn't we think about it sooner? We've already met someone from a different time, and this is the same place. If traveling through time is possible, then Dusk surely will know a way. We've got ourselves a new lead. We've searched every corner of the lake, but she was nowhere to be found. This is surely a strange coincidence. I think we are on the right track. We just need to investigate the place where we first met her. What is this? Some kind of portal? This must be our ticket to the past. But there is no telling what exactly lies beyond this gate. Don't forget, Levelus is a hero. And the hero must fight until the very end. Ouch, that wasn't very nice. After this not so pleasant arrival, Levelus found himself standing inside a strange cave. Well, the bonfire is here, so it could have been worse. The important thing is, we finally cracked the code. Seeing this strange place filled Levelus with determination. Solaire definitely can be saved. His god was practically screaming. The answer is close. The only way is forward, so let's see what lies ahead. A fog wall this early? Interesting. It seems that someone is guarding the entrance to the land of the past. Don't tell me it's Cerberus. No, not Cerberus. A manticore. Close enough. Allow me to say this. Sanctuary guarding is an easy boss. Did we spend an hour of constant attempts on him? Yes, we absolutely did. But not because of his immense strength or heavy hitting attacks, and not because of his pretty fur. No, we did it because Levelus was dead set on getting his tail in his own collection. Why does our hero need all of these tails? He can't even use them? Well, they just look cool. The problem is, to cut his tail we must wait for specific attacks. So, this is how Levelus spent 40 minutes of his time. Waiting for these attacks, making dumb mistakes, and hitting the tail when possible. And then he got it. Finally. This was a huge victory by itself, but we still needed to beat the boss. Of course, after cutting the tail, Levelus didn't magically stop getting hit, so we needed a couple of extra attempts. But in the end, we won. After 39 attempts, the guardian blocking our way was defeated, and we could continue our journey. I just hope this was the hardest tail we will need to cut. Right past this creature, we finally managed to arrive at some kind of shrine. There was a bonfire, but more importantly a talking mushroom. She called herself Elizabeth, and by the gist of it, it seems that we are truly somewhere near Ulyssil now. Also, she asked us to save Dusk once more. This time she was kidnapped by someone called a primeval human. Who could that be? And then everything was revealed. We truly reached the past. This place, Levelus had already been here. He was certain this is the same bridge that he knew so well. The one where we figured out how to save Solaire. And that must mean that this is the same forest? Shocked by his discovery, Levelus pressed on. And there he encounters the guardians of this place. Well, I say guardians, but seeing that they were just living scarecrows, the right term would be inhabitants. Also, Levelus found a different version of stone golems. They were similar to the ones Levelus had already seen, but how should I put it? It seemed they were livelier, and if you think about it, they must have been stuck in this place for eons, so that makes sense. Holy, what is this magnificent creature? Would it really be a dragon? Amazing! As you could guess, in his journey Levelus was dreaming about seeing a real, full-fledged dragon. Well, he had already killed Sith and met the ancient dragon, but the first wasn't a cool dragon and the second wasn't hostile. I hope we will get the chance to see this creature again. After that, our hero found an elevator leading to a strange coliseum. At first he decided not to go through the fog wall, but to check his surroundings. There he found a strange path going lower into some kind of ravine and a strange clown-looking guy. The name of this guy was Chester, and he too was just a guest of this time. That explains his attire. He also offered us some goods, the most valuable of which were humanities. If we ever get some extra souls on our hands, we will pay him a visit. And now, it is time to meet the boss. Is this who I think it is? This is the man himself, a legendary hero, Artorias, the Abyss Walker. We have heard so much about him. I knew there must be someone who can show us a way. Oh, he's corrupted already. Not the best first impression. Seeing that this hero had already lost his battle, the right thing to do was to grant him a noble death. With a heavy heart, Levelus accepted this duel. When time comes, every hero must face the end destined for him. Maybe someday someone will grant a hero's death to Levelus. Maybe someday. Well, enough with the exposition, now to the battle itself. It was easy. Okay, not super easy, it still took us something around 40 minutes and 11 deaths, but there was nothing irritating about this fight. Just two warriors fighting with everything they've got. And with that, the life of a legendary hero has come to an end. But his legends will survive and find itself in the minds of people hundreds of years later. A fitting end to a great man. After this battle, Levelus needed to rest, and right past the Coliseum he found a conveniently placed bonfire. But more importantly, he found the town of Ulasil. From Chester, we've learned something about the fate of this land.
Fooled by that toothy serpent. They upturned the grave of primeval man and incited his ornery wrath.
There were no signs of normality in this place. Streets were deserted, crumbling down by their own weight, falling deeper and deeper. And the creatures living here, the only ones left, were touched by the abyss too. Truly, a horrifying fate. But before we explore the town, let's see what was waiting for us in the ravine we discovered earlier. On the way here we found a set of stairs leading to a closed door. We should search for the key? And is that a person? At the arena where we fought with Artorias, we've met a woman. Seems that they were close. She knew what transpired here and her only request was to say a proper goodbye to her friend. For that, she asked if we could give her the soul of Artorias. Being a noble hero, Levelus gladly gave her a soul. A legend such as Artorias should be respected even after his death. So, the decision was obvious. Inside the ravine, Levelus found some stray dogs and a path forward. The site looked almost like the lake we have already been. I guess this is the same place. Last time we fought Hydra here, maybe this time we will find another enemy. Right after this thought, a big black dragon appeared in the sky. Levelus was hyped to fight this creature, but the dragon didn't plan to land. From the sky came a barrage of fire and it turned Levelus into a dragon snack. It seems that before slaying this creature we must find a way to bring it down. Well, now that we know that the other paths are blocked for now, we can explore the secret with a clean conscience. It wasn't long before we met the inhabitants of this place face to face. And what can I say? Thank God our club is still holding out. A couple of smacks with it and the enemy is done for. But not every enemy was that easy to defeat. The problem with witches is that you need to get close to attack, and their spells hit pretty hard. For this, we've got a different tool, the crossbow. The damage might be super low, but it gets the job done. After 20 shots it is. Oh, look who it is! Chester! Only this time he isn't friendly. Maybe he's upset we've stolen his shtick? Sorry Chester, we won't use the crossbow anymore. You can keep it, but also, don't interrupt, please. Is it me or is this place kind of dark? Levelus got another perfect tool. A light helmet. Oh, a secret wall. It's funny that we have decided to put it on just now. Maybe I know more than I let on. Haha, just a guess. Really? Hey, another mimic. And this is an interesting one. You may be wondering, how are we able to tell if the chest is a mimic or not? Well, allow me to teach you. Usually, we look at the chain. If the chain is curly, this is a normal chest. And if it is straight, a mimic. Yes, I hear you, you ask. And what if the chain is invisible, like in this case? In this case, we can simply wait for a little bit and see that this chest is breathing. We can even see its teeth. So that's it. This is everything you need to know about mimics. Tips are appreciated. After this certainly useful lesson, we arrived at the big building infested with these creatures. And I think this is a good moment to point that they hit like a truck. Point made, now to the contents of this building. Another chest. I hope you listened to the previous lesson. I give you 15 seconds to decide if this chest is normal or a mimic. Ding ding ding, that time is up, let's see if you got it right. This chest is a mimic! Congratulations to everyone who guessed right. If you didn't, better luck next time. Oh, and we've got a key we wanted. Hey, look, Levelus has found a shortcut to the surface. If we think about it, we are pretty deep right now. I guess the abyss is close. Just right past a pretty cramped passage. Like, really, there are 5 enemies here. We found a strong looking guy. Maybe it's the chains wrapped around his body, but he looks dangerous. Ouch! Dangerous indeed. Good thing we have upgraded our pyromancy. I guess this is it. The final elevator. Wait, maybe it's an enemy? Not scary abyss. You need to try better next time. Oh, nice. A bonfire. We've got no idea what is waiting for us in the darkness. So we should kindle this bonfire for safety reasons. This is it. The place where everything began. The key to our fate must be closed. We just need to keep going. But you know, for a place where everything began, this area is kind of empty. Of course, there are these humanity enemies, they are pretty cool. And they come in different sizes. This is cool too. We can even find a really big one, the coolest one yet. But hey, is this Salvina? Following a path shown to us by a furry friend, we've discovered a secret room. In this room we found a puppy, and this puppy was being harassed by humanity ghosts. Oi! No one is allowed to harm the puppies. Get out of here! Thankfully, because of Alvina, we've managed to arrive just in time to save this cute dog. No need to thank us, friend. Be safe. Well, this is everything this place has to offer, maybe except this conveniently placed huge fog wall. Yeah, I guess the boss is there. But wait for a moment, dear viewer. All of us know that someone dangerous is waiting for us behind this wall. So, a smart thing to do is to explore our other opportunities before facing this enemy. I knew you will think so too. Let's use the key we found earlier. Hey, look who this is, another friendly giant. It's nice that we have decided to postpone our boss fight. His name is Go, and previously he was a Knight of Gwyn too. like Ornstein, Artorias and Siran, but now that they are disbanded, he just lives here and carves things. He also knew about our dragon problem, and he's asking if Levelus is planning to slay this creature. Well, of course, this is a dream of our hero. Is there a way that he can help us? This was awesome. He was a really cool dude. We are glad that we found him. Now it's time to slay a dragon. We have once again arrived at Kalameet arena, and there he is, with a huge arrow clipping through his wings. Now we can have an honest duel. Sadly, Levelus forgot to bring his hail of harpoons on vacation, so our first attempt ended earlier than we would like to admit. No problems, we'll just go again. What do you mean we have to run for 2 minutes to get there? Every attempt? This is gonna be fun. Okay, allow me to tell you something, dear viewer. The next part of our journey will be a tough one. You might already have noticed Levelus' obsession with tails. Well, this is a pinnacle of this obsession. It isn't enough to just defeat this legendary dragon. Levelus must cut his tail first, and this small nuance made this fight significantly harder. You have been warned. Enjoy! So, to cut his tail, we first must reach it. Easy. Just wait for the right opening and attack his tail, right? Right, but there is one small problem. This particular boss has 14 attacks. And in how many of them he leaves the tail on the ground? In 2? 2 attacks out of 14? Well, this is bad, but maybe these openings last for long. Wrong. With his grab attack, his tail is on the ground for approximately 6 seconds. I don't know about you, but Levelus wasn't able to hit the tail in time, so the grab is out. What's left? The downward fire attack, in which the tail is on the ground for 9 seconds? Wow, this is a lot. We are able to hit the tail at least one time. This is our opening. Now we just have to wait for it. While we are waiting, allow me to share some good news with you. This fight by itself isn't that hard. Well, it is hard, but not that hard. And that difference depends on one simple technicality. He can't one-shot us. So, by definition, we can survive for as long as we've got our Restus flasks. Or until Levelus makes a mistake, which he does. A lot. Alright, we are 10 attempts in and the tail doesn't seem to come off. Maybe our strategy isn't that foolproof as we originally thought. What is the dragon doing? Yes, I wasn't entirely honest while telling you about our openings. There is a third attack, in which the tail stays on the ground for a whopping 6 seconds. Wait, then what's the difference? Our position. He only begins his grab attack when we are positioned right in front of him, but he starts his tail slam when we are behind. The only thing is, in the RN12 he used this attack once. Maybe this is pointless, maybe slaying the dragon will be a reward in itself, maybe Levelus' collection will be incomplete. As we started to doubt ourselves, our hero unlocked one of his long gone memories. His mentor knew everything about journeys, and within what Levelus picked up from him lay the answer.
Dives to the left, dives to the right, then you walk away, then he slams the tail, and then you hit the tail.
This song, how could we forget? This is precisely what we needed. Now we have a chance. For this test, Levelus decided to change his ways. We don't need survivability, we just need to roll far and attack hard. Let me introduce you to the tail cut build. No armor, red tearstone ring, our trusty club. Bring it on, monster, we will get what we want. We did it! On our 17th attempt we are finally done with this tale. And dare I say, it looks pretty cool. It is kind of sad that we cannot use it. Now the only thing left was slaying the boss. Let's do it! Well, maybe this isn't so easy. It's funny, but while Levelus was focused on cutting Dragon's tail, he was more focused. Also, is it me or our damage seems lackluster? But I thought dragons are weak to lighting. Oh right, every dragon except this one. That must be a good thing that before venturing to the land of the past, Levelus already farmed some titan enchants. Yeah, totally before that. And he also upgraded his pyromancy glove to the max. Yeah, right after farming the chanks. It's surely convenient, but no matter, we've got ourselves a new, fully upgraded non-infused club. And the difference in damage is 44 damage? Okay, let's just slay that dragon now. We've done it! The dragon was slain! I still can't believe that we've managed to do it. It feels like a dream after 33 deaths and 2.5 hours of constant attempts. I'm positive that after this feat, Levelus must get a new title, the Dragon Slayer. This is the character developments we strive for. Okay, all jokes aside, let's go and tell Goh the good news. It's nice that we managed to make this place just a tiny bit better. Setting aside that this is still the past. Oh, he has gifted us a new bow? That's cool. Still can't use it though. Not enough strength. We are done here. Now the only thing that remains is this huge fog wall in the abyss. Our goal must be there. Let's go. Manus, father of the abyss, the one who brought us into the past, and the one who will aid us in saving Slayer. This is the moment we have been waiting for, the final piece of the puzzle. The only thing left for us is to defeat this monstrosity and to use his powers. Well, if only things were that easy. Finally, a worthy opponent. Allow me to introduce him once again, Manus, a twisted human who became a vessel for the abyssal powers, and the one responsible for Ulasil's fate. Manus, the hardest boss in the game. Well, while Levelus is fighting, I will teach you how we will be able to defeat this creature. You might have already noticed his left hand, the bigger one, and this hand can stretch out for a really long distance, but this is precisely what our strategy is. We are staying in front of the boss and waiting until he uses this hand. After he slams it on the ground, we can safely punish it with our hardest attack. Of course, he's got other tricks that we must look out for. He can combo his slam hits with his stick attack, he can stretch this hand upwards or sideways, he can also use two types of jump, one is punishable and the other is not. You might already guess why this boss is possible. All of these attacks can't one-shot us, so we can simply retreat and heal. And that would be it. Wait, punish, super easy, but why won't I show you? Yes, this is the deadliest attack of his first phase. The 5-hit combo. If we are even slightly touched by one of these attacks, we are stun locked and done for. The good thing is, this combo could be avoided just as easily as his other attacks, by keeping our distance. He can even be punished by our pyromancy 2 times for doing it. He also got some magic attacks, but I don't think... Oh, look over there, it seems Levelus has almost won. Hey, what is he doing? Why won't our hero make the finishing blow? He can't be feeling sorry for that monster. Hahaha, of course not. But this kind of was our plan all along. Do you remember the puppy we saved earlier? Well, this was Sif, the trusted friend of Artorias. And to tell you the truth, the main reason why Artorias lost his life was that he used his shield to protect Sif. This is a sad story, and when Levelus learned about it, he made up his mind. If we are going to defeat this creature, then Sif must be here to witness it. The only problem is, to summon Sif we must be human, and that highly limits our number of attempts, so now we are on the clock. Now every attempt costs us 1 humanity, and we've got 26 of them. Let's see how it goes. Next one. Next. Well, the thing is, the first time we could have won, we got lucky. Remember that I wanted to tell you about magic attacks, but stop. This was deliberate. The magic attacks are the most dangerous thing in this boss fight. There are 3 spells Manus can use. First, dark magic from the sky, easy, just run as soon as you see it in any direction. Second, dark magic shotgun blast, dodge to the side as soon as you can. Third, dark magic from behind. This attack was an attempt ender for Levelus, he just couldn't evade it. And this is the idea, the first time we almost won, Manus only used his easiest to dodge attack. But now, we won't get so lucky twice, the only way to win is to learn. We have been fighting this boss for 2.5 hours, and this was quite the journey, but now we figure it out. Holy, this is literally the easiest attack to dodge. You just need to run toward Manus and the spell will disappear. How could we have spent so much time on something so easy? Time to end this once and for all. This one is for you, Sif. We've done it. The beast was slain. This is truly an amazing feat. We have defeated the strongest enemy in this land. Congratulations to us. The only thing is, while he can be called the strongest, the title of hardest doesn't belong to him. Yeah, now this is an unexpected turn. But don't worry, soon you will meet the hardest boss in this land. But for now, Manus might not be the hardest, but he was still hard. But enough teasing, we've got a story to tell. With Manus defeated, we have saved Dusk and avenged artorias. The only thing that remains... Hey, what's going on? It worked! We have traveled to our past, we have even got our old equipment. From here we can save Solaire. Let's hurry, there is no telling how long we can stay in this timeline. Same way as before, we are giving 30 humanities to the Fair Lady, and this will unlock that blasted door. We need to move fast. We are here, please work. Yes! There they are, the creatures that corrupted Solaire. Now we must dispose of them. Whew, that must be it. But now we need to make sure that Solaire will arrive here. Let's fight the centipede demon once again. Second try, not bad. But now the moment of truth. Yes, he is here. It's so good to see our friend alive once again. Now we need to meet him near the door. Once again, we've swept through Lost Idolith, but this time with a clear goal in mind. This is the moment of truth. Will our friend be alright? Did our time shenanigans work? Were we able to save his life? We are here, and there he is, sitting down like nothing happened. We've done it, we've changed the past, we've kept our promise. As for Solaire, he was still sad. Of course, for now he hasn't found his son. But you know what, as long as we are alive, we can try for as long as it takes. Also, sad is better than dead. Ouch! It feels like our time here is coming to an end. May we see each other again, my friend. And good luck finding your son. We are back in our time, in the Ulasil Sanctuary to be precise. Alright, we have defeated Manus and saved Dusk. Let's tell this to Elizabeth. This reward is funny. Thanks, friend. Well, seeing that we were able to change the past, Now is the perfect time to create a better future. And for that we still must visit the grave of artorias and find a way to traverse the abyss. Okay, this time I think that we've earned this right. It's nice to once again set foot inside this forest. It's been so long since we first came to this land. So much has happened and Levelus has really grown as a hero. I think our story will have a happy ending. Once again we've passed the bridge, only this time we weren't feeling like we were breaking a promise. We saved Artorias' soul, we saved his little body thief, and we managed to stop the monster responsible for the corruption. Here it is, the grave. Wait, is it thief? He recognized us, but why is he still fighting? Could it be that he was protecting his friend's grave all this time? This is wrong, we shouldn't fight, we cannot slay the puppy who simply still protects his owner. Maybe there's something we can do, maybe this fight can be avoided? Maybe if we fight for a little bit, Thief will acknowledge our intent and cease fighting? There must be a way to save him too. It felt wrong, hitting Thief felt wrong. Levelus felt so much remorse, so much despair and so much anger at that moment. This is an evil act, something not worthy of a hero, but deep inside he knew that this must be done. As the fight dragged on, Thief grew weaker and weaker until his strength finally ran out. He couldn't fight anymore, he couldn't run, he couldn't even hit Levelus while he was standing still. It was the time for a final blow. Only, you know what? No, there is no world in which a hero will strike a defenseless puppy. The same puppy he once saved, the same puppy for which he suffered through the strongest boss attempt after attempt, only to show him that the monster that corrupted his friend was defeated. No, there won't be an ending to that battle. Levelus will never hurt a friend. Huh? You're alright? What happened? The armor, it looks different, now it's golden? Was it the right choice all along? Did we manage to cheat fate? Did we win? Seeing the golden glow radiating from Levelus' armor was an answer by itself. We did it. I'm not sure what was it, but it's obvious that Levelus has done everything right. Only, wait, what is this on Levelus' finger? A new ring? This is the one ring that we needed. How in the world? No matter, the only thing that matters is that we've got everything we need to save this land. Fire friend Sif will remain safe and healthy right beside his friend. Also, you know what we now understand? Alvina's action. She was the one who led us to Sif all those centuries ago. And she is the one who formed a covenant of warriors tasked with protecting the grave. Only she wasn't protecting the grave itself, she was protecting Sif. I just love both of them so much. Looking at the new and approved levels, there is only one thing that comes to mind. We need someone strong to test our newfound strength, and luckily we've got an extra enemy just around the corner. Yes, there are two of them now, and this perhaps is the only fight in the game that I could call infuriating. Wait, what am I saying? I mean, after our hero returned from his moral predicament, he felt better than ever before. And because of that, he was able to defeat these Sanctuary Guardians first try? Great job, Levelus. Well, the last part was something that Levelus asked me to write, but it feels wrong to make this fight seem easy. So I will tell you what really happened, but please pretend that you only heard Levelus's version. As I've said, this fight was infuriating. I honestly have no idea how we could even defeat these creatures if it wasn't for the passageway. In truth, we just hid there and tried to hit the manticores out of safety. There were many tactics Levelus tried to use. Camping, invisibility, pyromancy, and the latter was the only thing that kind of worked. If you remember, the side goal of our hero was to collect as many spells as he could on his trip, and it was time to use them. The best thing we had for this fight was called Chaos Storm, thanks Quilena. And if we used it right, we could bring a Guardian to half HP, and if we were extra lucky, we could sometimes hit both. So after 45 attempts, we were finally able to defeat them, and our reward? 6,000 souls. Awful, just awful. But I'm still glad we managed to fight them. I actually didn't know that there was a double version of this boss. Remember, for levels we managed to beat them first try. And after these creatures were defeated and the strength of our hero proved to be at its peak, it was time to finally conquer the abyss. After everything that happened, setting foot in the new Londo ruins once again felt like a different life. Which is funny considering how crucial that part of the journey was for Levelus. Such a simple task as finding the ring brought us to the past, gave us a way to save our friend, to save Sif, and to defeat Manus, the primordial human. But you have already seen all of it, so no need for a recollection. Once again we found ourselves standing on a broken staircase leading down, only this time Levelus came prepared. With Artorias' ring he can venture to the place where Four Kings reside. What can I tell you about 4 kings? Well, there are 4 of them. Okay, just kidding. There could be more. The main trick of this boss is his copies, or maybe different kings. As soon as 45 seconds of the fight would pass, another one appears. But the good thing is that everything Levelus has been through has made him really, and I mean really, strong. So the boss was easily defeated on his second try. Congratulations, we have collected everything we need to heal this land. Every strong entity in this world has been defeated, and nothing can stop us now. Or maybe the strongest foe is still waiting for us. But there are a couple of things we must do before the ending. First, we must set the sunlight maggot free. The universe where it consumed Solaire was erased, and it proved to be quite useful on numerous occasions, so we decided to find it a new home. For that, we traveled to Undead Asylum once again and placed it in the Snugglies nest. What? It's nice to have someone to talk to, and the nest looks cozy. As a thank you for bringing him a new roommate, Snuggly decided to give us a strange ring. We are not sure how to use it for now, but we are grateful nonetheless. Our second objective brought us to the Blight Town once again. There we brought all of Quilena's spell and said our goodbyes. Some of our most careful viewers might notice that we haven't spoken with Fair Lady yet, but we did. I just think that this meeting will be a little secret of Levelus. With our addition goals done, there was only one thing left to do, and that is to say goodbye to the Fallen Shrine. This place became our home, warm, safe, cozy, and full of friends, course, it is sad to leave it, but someday we will return. We always do. Fram gladly transported us to the altar, and that means the time has come. The time to place all of the great souls that we collected, and finally see what lies ahead. The door has opened, and behind it lies a huge staircase leading down. We can see the spirits of night still marching in the white void, but more importantly we see... This place is gorgeous, the heart of this land. We are here at long last. Long time ago Lord Gwyn made his sacrifice right here. Even now ashes falling from the sky. This is the final destination of our journey. Well, what can I say? This place is not only majestic but also dangerous as hell. The only enemies that lives here are Black Knights. Yes, the same ones we have already fought plenty of times on our journey, only significantly stronger. After a little bit of struggle we managed to defeat 3 of them and found their armor. Of course, Levelus already settled on his attire, but if he hadn't it would be a huge find. Hey, is this a summoning sign? Solaire! We found him! This is our friend, alive and well! And wait a moment, if we found his sign here, it must mean that in his own world he has arrived at the same place? So he overcame his depression and decided to save this land too? Whoa! Welcome back, old friend! Let's fight side by side for the last time? Thanks, Slayer. This was truly a meeting full of joy. But after this point we must face the challenge alone. Good luck on your journey and may we meet again someday. So, here we are, right before the last fog wall. We all know who is expecting us at the end. Let's not keep an old hero waiting any longer. And this is our final boss. What else can I say? Well, maybe it is time to admit that Gwyn is the hardest boss we've encountered on our whole journey. 95 attempts, 4 hours. That's what it took us to defeat him. But you know what? Allow me to start from the beginning. This is a story of how Levelus defeated the final boss. You've seen our first attempt, and it went just as expected. We died without landing a single hit. But don't worry, it wasn't that bad. We managed to hit him for a total of 3 times on our third attempt. On the 6th, we figured that the guy who used the lightning to slay an army of dragons might be resistant to it. So we started to use a basic club, and our damage got better. Our survivability didn't. On the 12th, we tried using fire club. What? He may be burned, but who knows? And indeed, it was the right call. With our build finalized, we just needed a little bit of luck to defeat him. And on 16th attempt, no, luck won't help us here. We need to learn how to fight. And while Levelus is learning, allow me to tell you why we consider Gwyn the hardest boss. Let's start with his main ability, speed. He is ungodly fast where he wants to be. Of course, some of his attacks have a long wind up, but then, BAM! And he used the quick slash. Also, if you remember my main point about why Kalameet and Manus were mandatory, opportunities to heal. Well, Gwyn fixed it. To heal, your only option is to run away and pray he won't run after you. But he still will. As for his second ability, the Phantom Sword, let's see it in action. Who knew that if you dip your sword into fire, it extends its reach? Because of that extended blade, we were unable to maintain a safe distance like we did with Manus. Oh, and how could I forget the sword and probably the ability that scared us in every attempt, his damage. You know, there is a limited amount of attacks Gwyn can do, and that makes the fight easier. What doesn't is that they can one-shot us half of the time. Grab, dead. Quick slash, dead. Overhead attack, dead. You've got the point. The longer we spend in this boss fight, the more opportunities Gwyn gets to one-shot us. What else? The runback. The runback takes 1 minute and 30 seconds, which may be not the longest out of them, but remember about dangerous enemies that can one-shot us. And it quickly becomes the worst one. But you know what? I'm ready to forgive everything just to hear that song one more time. Hey, have you noticed it? Not that. Gwyn staggered just after 2 attacks. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the way we are going to defeat this boss. As you can see, this boss really appreciates aggression. If you manage to keep constant pressure on him, there is a huge chance he won't even be able to attack. So this is our new strategy, just hit him fast. You know, it really seems that we found our strategy, but for the next hour Levelus just kept dying attempt after attempt, so we will ignore that part. Actually, our protagonist got so flustered with losing this much that he decided that the best approach to this battle would be to change his focus and to do something new. That's when he remembered his desire to upgrade every elemental club in this world. You might be thinking, where will Levelus get the Titanate for it? Well, this is a good question. Not long ago we were thinking about a suitable place, but now we've unlocked the Queen of the First Flame. The Black Knights roaming this place respawns, and they also drop different Titanite chunks. This one drops red, this one drops blue, and this one drops white. So, after a quick farming session, and after a quick stroll to collect the slabs we missed, we were good to go. Let's expand our collection. The Occult Club, done. The Magic Club, done. The Crystal Club, done. And the last but not least, the Enchanted Club, done. We've done it. This is almost every elemental club collected. The only one we still need is the... oh no, the Chaos Club. What about the Chaos Club? What about it indeed? Let's leave this tale for another time. I think at this point our hero has rested enough, and he's ready to get back to his battle. Let's see how it goes. This is better, at least our hero is making some progress. For now, I will tell you when to attack this boss. Our best opportunity for attack presents itself right at the beginning of the fight, the jump. After dodging, we can safely hit Gwyn twice, which results in an almost guaranteed stagger. The next punishable attack is the grab. After it, we can squeeze in a heavy attack, land enough of them, and the boss is finished. And these were our only safe openings. Not enough? Well, yes. Let me see. You can also attack him from behind, he may punish it with a quick strike, but most of the times you will stagger him, so it's a net positive. You know, all these times that we are discussing the boss, Levelus has been fighting. He knew what's at stake here, and he knew what must be done. This boss may be the hardest, but he's still nothing for Levelus. He will beat Gwyn and he will bring peace to this land. He's doing it! Levelus is winning after everything we've been through, after every challenge we have overcome. The victory is upon us. There it is, a final strike! Hey, what is it? This is cheating! You've seen it, Levelus hit him! Wait, why isn't he respawning? What's going on? Buddy, wake up!
I'll be fine. I have you, dear sister. But promise me that you will take care of yourself.
Wake up! we are alright. Gwyn, Lord of Cinder, is finally defeated. Holy! I was actually worried about Levelus, but what happened there? Why is he human again? And why is his club on fire? A win is a win. It isn't the time for questions. We've got one final decision before us. To kindle the flame and to grant another age of peace to this land. Or to walk away and begin the age of darkness. Well, you already know what our hero will choose. You've been with him at every step of his journey, witnessed his victories and failures, friends who died and friends who lived. You've seen all of them. You've been there at the beginning, and after the end you will still be there. In truth, there never was another way. The story of the hero called Levelus Maximus must end with a gift to the world. But there is still time to celebrate our victory before making a decision. So, I officially declare this vacation a success. Levelus defeated all of these bosses, every strong enemy, and even cut every valuable tail. All of this was achieved without leveling up a single time, so witness the ending physique of Levelus Maximus, as well as his collection of shiny clubs. Also, I present to you a final number of death. In my humble opinion, we did amazing. Thank you for being with us on this journey. And thank you, Levelus, for gifting us this unforgettable ride. I hope soon you will invite us on a new journey. And this is the end of the journey of Levelus Maximus. Oof, what a ride. I hope you enjoyed this journey as much as I did. It was truly a fantastic story. Hey, don't be sad, there are still plenty of stories to tell, and some of them even include Levelus. Don't believe me? Well, how about the time when Levelus decided to collect every elemental club there is? Or the time when he decided to use boss souls to make new shiny weapons? Or how he encountered his rival once again? What? You haven't seen it? Then let's make a deal. You won't be sad that the story is over, and in return I promise to tell you other stories about Levelus. How about that? A nice deal, right? And the best thing, I haven't told you anything about different countries that Levelus plans to visit next. I heard Drangleic looks perfect this time of year, but this is definitely a story for another time. For now, I will remind you to subscribe to the channel and to leave a like on the video. Surely you don't want to miss the next journeys of Levelus. But more importantly, thank you for watching and goodbye for now.
Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
Back so soon? Just kidding, welcome to the bonus chapter of Levelus' adventures. As promised, today I will tell you everything about our hero, next, previous or side endeavors. To begin, we first need to refresh our current situation and to plan some goals. Well, the first thing on our list is the elemental clubs. We've got all of them, except the Chaos one, and it wouldn't be a problem just go to the New Game Plus and collect a slab, but Levelus wanted to get it before fighting Gwyn. Then the Pyromancy. We were really diligent about looting Lordran, so we've collected a lot of spells. But we still need more, some of which we missed from Laurentius and the others we have to get from Ainge. There is a twist. While discussing Pyromancy, let's look at our other missed spells. And the champion in the amount of magic we still need to collect is Miracles. There are a lot. Thank God we've got every sorcery except one. But there is more. We also missed 2 covenants on our journey. Shocking, I know. And the main goal of this chapter, Levelus' sacred desire. The thing we will spend all of our time getting is every single one of the boss weapons. What a great journey lies ahead of you. I'm almost envious. I wonder, where is Levelus right now? Last time we've seen him, he just finished his journey and chose to link the fire. Huh? We are back in the Undead Asylum, and it seems the world has restarted. Well, good for us, I guess. Wait a moment. This isn't Levelus? Okay, take a deep breath. Let's go with the flow. Meet Dark Levelus, sworn enemy of our noble hero. The most vicious creature in all of Lordran. The horror tale used to scare children, and the protagonist of this chapter. Looks like we are stuck with him for now, and you have already seen the Asylum walkthrough twice, so let's just skip it and discuss the objective of our new compatriot. It's simple, really. His only desire is to exact revenge on everyone who wronged him. Yeah, what a goal. Luckily, for it to happen, he must reach Levelus first. And that means he needs to defeat Gwyn. You already know what comes before Gwyn, so I won't bore you with repetition. For now, he arrived at the Final Shrine, and of course the first thing he decided to do was picking a fight with its residents. Whoa, he is weak. Unexpected. Then he went to the Undead Burg, same old. But hey, he just jumped down from the roof, and now he's right at the Capra demon boss fight. Not gonna lie, that's pretty cool. Okay, for now he was unable to defeat Capra, so he decided to move on. Yeah, he isn't Levelus. Our hero always finished his fights. Then Dark Levelus, or DL for short, defeated Taurus Demon and arrived to the Gargoyle boss fight. There he managed to defeat them on his second attempt and ring a first bell. Nothing special for now. Due to some lucky strike, he managed to finally defeat Capra. I actually missed how he was able to deal that much damage, but I'm glad it's finally done. It took us too long to admit. Then he saved Laurentius? Whoa, this is unexpected. I was sure that the only thing he cared about was revenge. Forget it, he just needed the 2 final pyromancies. After he brought Iron Flesh and Flesh Sweat, he became a proud owner of all pyromancies in the land. Yeah, I remember other pyromancies we needed to buy from Engi. We will get to them. And now he decided to go into the forest. Okay, at least that is something new. There he managed to easily defeat the butterfly, and he also decided to take down Sif. Due to how weak he was, it took some time, but in the end he managed to defeat our fluffy friend. Sorry Sif, we will make things right in another world. But I wonder, what is his game plan? He wants to challenge the 4 kings, but isn't it a tad bit early? Does he even stand a chance against them? I know that Levelus managed to beat them on the second try, but he was significantly stronger. Well, after Dark Levelus managed to rush past the ghosts, it was an excruciating process. They kept stopping him from climbing the ladder, so he needed to lure them away. After that, he found himself standing before Invert. Of course, Invert wasn't going to give us the key to the seal, it was too early for it. But there are no problems that our diligent protagonist can't solve with a shakedown, so the Guardian was defeated and the key acquired. Now it is time to fight the 4 kings, and this could be the place where our story could have ended. They were simply too strong. Our hero's damage was really low, he could be easily one-shotted by almost all of their attacks, and the second king would appear before our hero could scratch the first. All in all, the situation was unwinnable. But who told you that this has to be our station? Yes, Levelus was a huge fan of clubs. He wanted to face every enemy head-on and to feel the victory with every fiber of his being. But Dark Levelus was different. He just wanted to win. Honor, fair play, fight. These ideas meant nothing for him. He wanted to feel strong, feel feared. And thanks to our upgraded pyromancy glove, he got what he wanted. Look closely, because this is an ultimate setup for a level 1 character. Clubs were good enough first adventure, and they still can be used for clearing trash mobs, but our main damage dealer will be a pyromancy spell, Great Combustion. Or Black Flame, it's weaker but still fine. To boost its damage even further, we will use the Bellowing Dragon Crest Ring for a 20% damage increase. and the Crown of Dusk for another 20% increase. It reduces magic defense, but who cares. After that we need to choose between Power Using, a 40% increase for 100 seconds, but it slowly drains your HP, or the Red Tearstone Ring, 50% increase, but only below 20% HP. And last but not least, Utility Rings, White or Dark Moon Seance Ring to get +1 additional slot, and the Lingering Dragon Crest Ring to extend our Power Using to 150 seconds. At this particular occasion we are additionally weakened by the requirement to wear an Abyss Ring, so we've got only one ring slot. That means that our perfect build for slaying 4 kings will include Great Combustion, Black Flame, Power Within, a starter pack of White Seance Ring and the Lingering Dragon Crest Ring, which after casting Power Within we will change to the Abyss Ring and the Bellowing Dragon Crest Ring, and of course a Garage Shield for moral support. Oof, this is it. This is our ultimate damage setup, almost. For even more damage, change Power Within for RTSR, but you need both slots. I feel that you are already exhausted just by looking at Dark Levels, but trust me, it will be worth it. Look at the damage, holy, this is what I call strength. Now let's skip an hour of adjusting to this new build and look at the victory attempt. Nice! I know that Dark Levelus is an antagonist, but still, a great job! As you've seen, we've run out of spells in the end and need to finish the job with the club. I wonder if we could improve this fight even further. Oh, is this Friend? What is he doing here? No, this is another primordial serpent, Keth, and he is in charge of the Dark Wraith. So he is kind of evil, but maybe not, it's complicated. The important thing is, he offered Dark Levels to join his covenant, and of course, our protagonist accepted. Maybe there are some similarities between them after all. But after Dark Levelus discovered his true power, it was time to visit Blighttown. After a quick drop from the top, we were able to reach the boss room in under 5 minutes. Who knew that if you don't investigate every possible corner, you can do things really fast. Also, here we brought another Great Combustion, we will need it. The only thing is, we cannot use our Pyromance on Quilek, she is a fire spider after all. Well, our new game plan was still useful, we used Power Within and thanks to our high damage managed to defeat her after a couple of tries. The second bell rang. But our main character did not stay for dinner. As soon as the bonfire was lit, he rushed away to continue his journey, and the next point of interest presented itself inside Undead Asylum. There he defeated another demon and collected the doll. If you remember, Dark Levelus wants to exact revenge on everyone who wronged him, and for that he must go into the Painted World. With this out of the way, he arrived at Sans Fortress. There, he once again rushed through this building and found himself standing before the Iron Golem. Finally, this is the perfect boss to test our build. And he fell off. To the capital! And while Levelus experienced a lot of mischiefs traversing Anor Londo, Dark Levelus just ran past everyone who stood in his way. And he managed to do it thanks to the two very useful rings that hid his presence. The Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring to remove his sounds, and the Ring of Fog to make him transparent. With that he hastily managed to reach Ornstein and Smoke, and finally, this time for real, this is the boss where we can show our full build. Witness the power of pyromancy. After this fight, Lord Vessel was in our hand, and that meant it is time to exact revenge. After Dark Levelus upgraded his armor, he decided to start with Gwendolyn. Careful viewers could ask, why did he want to slay Gwendolyn? He already won the first time? Well, the answer is simple, just because he can. 4 great combustions. This is what it took to defeat Gwendolyn. Easy boss, easy life, easy revenge. Time to stay in the painted world. Seeing that the goal of our character wasn't exploring this place, but only to reach the end, he just ran around and did things. He cracked the lever and skipped the whole bridge encounter. He just doesn't care. Priscilla was standing before him. She tried to reason with this creature, tried to explain that they've got no reason to fight, but Dark Levelus couldn't be persuaded. He cut her tail and delivered his revenge. There was nothing that could have been done. Then he escaped this world and decided to find a new victim. He thought that Thief would be a perfect target for him, but the door proved to be closed. Well, it happens. It just means that we need to put down the Lord Vessel. Oh, and we've got a personal serpent to do it. Kath transported our protagonist to the altar and all doors were opened. I know that earlier I've said something about the new target, but that was more of a figure of speech. In truth, Dark Levelus still was consumed by hatred, and the final goal of his massacre was Levelus, his heroic counterpart. But defeating him wasn't enough. He wanted to prove that he is better, stronger, and for that he too needed to travel into the past. So he defeated Hydra, freed Dusk, and went to Sith Library to find a new way to open this portal. There he defeated a peacefully standing golem, fought Thief for the first time, got in jail, escaped the jail, unlocked the main bonfire, found Sith Immortality Crystal, and finally defeated Thief. An eventful trip, if I say so myself. 2 Lord Souls done, 2 to go. And the next objective will await us somewhere hot. And by that I mean Izalith. But to go there we must face Sith's discharge first. And if you remember, Levelus struggled greatly in this battle. Well, after Dark Levelus failed to defeat this boss first try, we were in for a ride full of suffering. Unless he will find a clever way to survive his attacks and to safely dispose of him. Oh, he did just that? What a lucky turn of event! With the use of our upgraded Black Knight armor, a Pyra Sisterhood, pick anything with fire resistance, and more importantly, with another pyromancy called Flash Sweat, we were able to survive his barrage of fire every time, as long as we faced it head on. With this clever trick, Dark Levelus managed to defeat this monstrosity and to free the lava lake. After that, nothing interesting happened. He defeated Fire Demon, gave a lot of humanities to Fair Lady. Wait, what? This is surprising. I wouldn't expect him to play by the book. But maybe he isn't that bad after all. With a shortcut unlocked, we managed to arrive inside the temple without slaying the centipede demon. A time save. Maybe, maybe not. And while our current champion Ryan to collect the red slab, allow me to reminisce about the past. Some time ago, before defeating Gwyn for the first time, Levelus decided that he wants to finish his vacation with every fully upgraded elemental club there is. And, as you have already seen, he was almost successful. The only club that he wasn't able to upgrade was a Chaos Club. For what reason, you will surely ask? Well, on the contrary to every other upgrade path in the game where we could collect 2 of every colorful slab, the red was presented only once. But, of course, there were enemies that could drop it. It couldn't be inaccessible, right? Sure. In this place, these weird tentacle things called Chaos Eaters could drop a slab with a chance of 0.3%. Not that bad, or so it would seem. Levelus spent 6 hours farming them, slaying these creatures time after time with no avail. He even managed to cap his red chunks at 99, he physically couldn't carry more. This truly was torture. As it happens, at the time Levelus also tried to think about different ways to get what he wanted. And for that he even became a parasite host. All it took was a quick kiss from one of the eggheads. He hoped that Engi would give him a new pyromancy flame that he would be able to trade with Snuggly for a slab, but alas, his intelligence was too low for it. A sad fate indeed. But we've brought 2 exclusive pyromancies from Engi, so in the end it kinda was worth it. And now Dark Levelus collected the slab, and with it in our hands, it was the time to challenge the boss. If you remember, the Bed of Chaos really is an unpleasant boss on Soul level 1, so our main character decided to use a clever trick to defeat this monster without parkour. He failed, and that meant now he had to run there every time, at least he farmed some maggots. It was a painful process, so painful in fact that we got bored and decided to run from another bonfire. For that we defeated the centipede demon, see, no time save after all. And on our second try from there, this happened. Whew. We held our breath the whole time before Lord Soul pop-up appeared. Scary, but good job nonetheless. After that we upgraded our last club to the max, finally, and decided to take on the last main boss without delay. Nita was significantly easier, as was his domain. We just jumped down a couple of times, dodged some skeletons and skelly dogs, and bam! We were already at the fog wall. There was only one noticeable thing there. Dark Levelus made a small detour, collected 3 Eyes of Death and lay inside the closely standing coffin. There he joined the Gravelord Sovereigns and at the same time gave them 10 eyes, rewarding us with a new, unseen before, miracle. Let's return to the fog wall. We used a Holy Club to defeat skeletons and easily defeated Nito himself. With every Lord Soul acquired, it was time to face Gwyn himself. Only we've got a lot of things to do before that, so let's follow the order. We've now got a lot of these shiny little souls. What should we do with them? Well, Dark Levelus had the answer. We will make every boss weapon. Why? To rob Levelus of his desired achievement. There are 17 boss weapons that we need to create. For that, we must first upgrade 17 different weapons to +10. The list of suitable weapons was too confusing, so we just grabbed every useless weapon from our storage and decided to upgrade what we can. But the giant blacksmith cannot upgrade weapons to +10, so we must go to Andre and have him do it. But for that, we must first grab an ember from the depth. What a complicated task. But we will see it through. With hopefully every weapon that we needed upgraded, we once again return to the giant and we will manage to create the boss weapons we wanted. Sadly, not all of them. Our souls ran out, but fear not, because Dark Levelus knew where he could get rich quickly. To the past we go. Also, here are the weapons we were able to create this time. Seeing Dark Levelus copying the path of our hero felt strange. On one hand, there wasn't a lot of crazy things he's done, so he started to seem normal. On the other, remember what those crazy things were? It wasn't something that we could forgive that easily. But this is a discussion for another time. Now Dark Levelus must face the bosses from the past. Let's see how his build will fare against them. Bring it on, monsters! Whoa, the Guardian was slain in 15 minutes and even the tail was cut. This power is dangerous in their own hands. Oof, I forgot it is already in their own hands. Well, no matter, the next boss on our list will be Artorias and his soul will be crafted into a beautiful sword. At first Artorias felt like a hard boss, and I thought that it was finally time for Dark Levelus to experience a loss. But then he memorized his every attack, learned how to dodge them and cleanly slain the boss. The only tricky part was his charge, which if not interrupted would significantly boost him. But to interrupt it, we must start blasting as soon as he even thinks about casting, which could be hard. It could be, but every time Artorias wanted to use this charge, he dodged away from our protagonist. So we just pursued him. After the boss was defeated and the bonfire was lit, we once again decided to make a small detour and continued to create boss weapons. Here they are. Abyss was just a walk in the park, so let's skip it, especially because we finally arrived at our character's demise. Manus. Manus was a really challenging boss. I even think he proved to be harder than 4 Kings. We spent somewhere around 2.5 hours on this boss, simply terrifying. But you have already seen Levelus clash with Manus in every detail, and I actually told you everything there is about him that time. The only difference was that now his attacks could one-shot us, so nothing new to tell. So instead of the full full exposure of this battle, I will tell you what went wrong and what helped us to defeat the hardest boss in the game. Well, at first Dark Levelus tried a slow and steady approach, just like Levelus did. Dodge, attack, only every mistimed dodge would kill us, not the best exchange. We surfed like this for 2 hours and then we decided something unexpected. We bounced back. I always thought that it was too dangerous to stay near Manus. His attacks would certainly hit us, we wouldn't be able to see them and there would be no opening at all. Well, turned out it was totally false. While staying close to him, he would only use a couple of easily dodgeable attacks, and what even more important, that as soon as we dodged, we could freely strike him a couple of times before dodging again. Just don't go near his tail. With this strategy, we didn't just beat Manus, we humiliated him. See for yourself. Bam, done. We defeated him under 1 minute. Impressive. Also, if any of you wants to try it for yourself, here is how we were able to set up RTSR almost consistently. With this, Dark Levelus conquered the past while leaving only Kalameet alive. His reading was he doesn't drop anything important, and the black dragon who represents suffering is cool. With everything that we wanted to do before Gwyn done, we now decided to once again pay a visit to our personal giant blacksmith. There we were able to create every boss weapon, and in doing so we finally finished our collection. Wait a second, there is one last soul that we need to collect, the soul of Thief? I guess collecting every boss will have to wait. It seems that this feat will only be possible in a different world, the one with Levelus. Of course, our protagonist was bummed by this news, so to relieve his disappointment he decided to slay some things for the weapons. Oh, and I almost forgot, there was one more thing that Dark Levelus wanted to do. He wanted to give Manus the end he truly deserved. For that he traveled back to Asylum and gave his soul to Snuggly. An interesting thing to do, strange but interesting. Oh, and this was the last spell we needed. Nice job, Dark Levelus, now we've got every spell in the land. But back to the topic at hand. The first victim of his pent-up anger he chose were dancing mages in archives. They had the trident our character really wanted to have, so he spent a couple of minutes to acquire it. Then he went to the forest, where he shattered some stone giants, of course not for fun but for the sword and shield, and after that he once again returned to Anor Londo, only this time to declare war on the guards. To tell you the truth, their equipment was the hardest to get. They are tricky to fight, they hit hard, and the chances to get anything from them were pretty low. But after Chaos Eaters, any farm is a tolerable farm. So in the end we managed to get their spear, shield and finally the sword. Whew, I guess Dark Levelus feels better after that. In fact, so much better that he even brought a weapon he wanted from patches and not ripped it from his cold hands. After this, the only thing we needed to do was to slay the final boss. So here we are, at the end of our journey, in the kiln of the first flame. And I must say, this journey wasn't as bad as I feared it would be. Sometimes I was terrified watching what will Dark Levelus do, but other times I was genuinely impressed. If he used his power to help people, to be good, to make peace with Levelus, it would be just a dream come true. But enough with the cheesy thoughts, we've got a boss to beat. Thinking about how long it took Levelus to defeat this boss, I could only imagine what it would take Dark Levelus. What? Narrator can sometimes get excited too. First try? What do you mean first try? It's unbelievable, unimaginable, impossible. I mean impossible. How could he do it on the first try? This is crazy. Well, then I guess it is time for the ending? First try. Can you believe this guy? As expected, the ending Dark Levelus chose was a different one. Of course, he wanted to be different from Levelus. it is almost funny. But this ending is cool too. I guess now he became the Dark Lord, and the Age of Man doesn't sound too bad either. We could only dream about what will come of it. But I know what will happen next. The new world, the final duel. Our champions are destined to face one another, and this will happen right now. But before it, if you are thrilled, if you are excited, or if you just want to support me in this journey, feel free to subscribe to the channel and to leave a like. It will be a huge help. Thanks, and back to our story. Levelus, it's so nice to see you again. You would never believe what happened. I will tell you everything right now. Oh, wait, there are two of them now. Both in the same world? Sorry, old friend. This isn't the time for tales. We must hurry and reach the Lord Vessel faster than our antagonist. Why the Lord Vessel? I guess while our hero is breaking out from Asylum, I could explain this to you. Well, the thing is, they are in the same world now, but at the same moment they aren't. Confusing? Yeah, I guess that would be hard to understand. Let's drop the details and bring it to something easy. They are in the same world, but they can't see, feel or fight each other. And by acquiring the Lord Vessel, they will be fully intertwined, so the one who gets it first will get the upper hand. So, what will be our game plan? Think Levelus, we must carefully pick our next move. Huh? You want to go to Quilek? I guess that makes sense. By that decision you will protect the Fair Lady and Quilana? Nicely done. Let's go. That is all it took for a hero to reach Quilek. In that time I've told Levelus about ways to get stronger, to get a shot at beating dark levels, so with the use of artorias he was able to defeat Quilek on his second try. In my opinion she wasn't that much stronger than the last time I saw her, so that must be a good thing. The Fair Lady was safe, so it was time to continue our race, to Sans Fortress. But let's check on Dark Levelus. After all, he is my protege too, and I can't just abandon him. It seems that our hunch was correct, he's going for the Bell Gargoyles. But this path is a little bit longer than to Blighttown, so maybe we will catch up to him. He defeated Taurus Demon, ran through the bridge, unlocked the shortcut to Final Shine, why though? And reached Andre's bonfire. Nothing surprising for now, and now as it seems he reached the gargoyles, but hey, what's that? Is he kicking me out? Okay, this was fully in character for him, so we will just assume that he defeated the gargoyles and went to the fortress. And lucky us, Levelus is just around the corner. Oh wait, the gates are closed? Would it be that Dark Levelus failed to defeat the gargoyles? Something tells me that this isn't the case, but no time to think about it. Since the bell wasn't rung yet, Levelus rushed out to fix it. He successfully managed to defeat the Bell Gargoyles and opened the path to the fortress. Great job as always, but I wonder where is his rival? With a clear goal in mind, our hero rushed through Sans Fortress, thinking only about being faster than his counterpart. It was kind of a pleasant trip this time, when you don't have to defeat 4 Titanite demons lurking in the basement. Here it is, the top. Sorry, but where is the boss? Oh, Dark Levelus wants to show us something. The gate is still locked, he's pairing some basic guard. What is it? Is he under the floor and now he's inside? Whoa, I guess this is what you need to do if you want to win. After that he just rushed through this place and pushed the boss down. Amazing, but kind of bad for us, but still amazing. So, I guess this is where we will have our final showdown. Anor Londo, the place where this rivalry started. The place where Dark Levelus was born. Are you ready, friend? Let's go. The Anor Londo felt different. The ominous silence consumed this beautiful city. The bridge was already lowered and there were no guards inside. I guess we were too late. Dark Levelus was already done here. The fog wall was no more, and we could only imagine what was waiting for us inside the boss room. And now it is time to end this. At first, they were just looking at each other, like a long-distance relatives that spent an eternity away. Then they got closer. At that moment, any of them could have made the first strike and walk away as a champion, but they just stayed still. Until... in the end, they were evenly matched. The new power of Dark Levels was useless, as was Levelus' resolve to win. They reached a stalemate. But maybe that was exactly what they needed. Their clash finally allowed them to see the truth. They are the same. They are just two sides of the same coin, a person and his shadow. Levelus ignored his dark half for so long that it became sentient and started its own life. But now the moment has come. It is time for Levelus to accept his shadow. They were able to forgive themselves, look past their differences, and forge a new path forward together. After this, Dark Levelus as an entity was no more. Now there is only one hero, the one who combines both sides, the good and the bad. Now, together as one, they will finally reach the end of this journey. Whew, that was an eventful turn event, but I'm glad that they are together now. And I'm also glad that I don't need to narrate for two of them anymore. Let's see what has transpired in Guinevere Chambers. Ah, the door is closed, then how in the world? Well, I guess in the end, they didn't even need Lord Vessel to see each other. They just needed to be ready. Well, what's next on our list? This of course is very heartwarming, but Dark Levelus still needed to cut some loose ends, and if we are being precise, he needed to apologize to the peoples he hurt, at least to the most deeply wronged by him. And the first person he decided to apologize to was, well, not a person, Sif. Why him? Well, Levelus wanted to say hi to the puppy, and Dark Levelus wasn't yet ready to apologize to other victims. So we quickly paid Sif a visit, played with him for a little bit and excused ourselves out of this fight by dying. Where would we get the soul and a ring? On the black market, of course. I know that this is a strange thing to do, but we proved that we can defeat Sif, we just don't want to. After that, we quickly grabbed the doll from Undead Asylum, and you have already seen this exact thing 2 times, so let's just skip this part and move forward. Painted World. The first time we came here to escape our tormentor, and the second time we came here to exact revenge. So it feels good to visit this place just to say hi and to apologize. But before facing Priscilla, there was some other thing Dark Levelus needed to do. He decided to find crows for the souvenirs of reprisal. You will see why in a minute. Also, I must say that this farm took us significantly less time than when Levelus tried to acquire the red slab. So, with 10 souvenirs collected, we finally reached the ruler of this place. Dark Levelus apologized for his earlier behavior and promised not to do that anymore. Now he's got us to watch his back, so he will be fine. Priscilla, being such a great person, forgave him the instant he bowed and didn't attack her. So, this part of his list was completed. The next person he wanted to express his sorrow to was Gwendolyn, and he knew that this guy won't be so easily persuaded, so this is precisely the moment he found all those souvenirs for. He said his apologies, bowed to the ruler of Anor Londo, joined the covenant, and even gifted him 10 souvenirs of reprisal. And in exchange, Gwendolyn gifted a new miracle to our hero. Nice job, just a couple more to collect. Then we defeated Lotrek. Dark Levelus wanted to return to Firekeeper her ability to speak, feeling bad for how he just ignored her in his own world. And the last but not least, he apologized to the Blacksmith Giant, the one he slayed in timelines that didn't come to be. But the giant actually didn't remember any of it, as didn't Levelus, so they just moved on and decided to make one final weapon. After every needed boss defeated twice, after every simple weapon upgrade to +10, after everything we've been through, it is time. The final boss weapon has been made. the collection is officially complete. Yay! What a great turn of events, I'm feeling really proud of ourselves. The only thing left is to get 4 great souls, find the last covenant and to defeat Gwyn one last time. Exciting! This time we decided to change the order of things and to pay respects to the fair lady first. This was achieved by joining her covenant and by giving her 15 additional humanities. After that we quickly defeated Six's discharge. Yes, this time we finally managed to defeat him first try, no more fancy setups and praying for survival. Then Fire Sage was defeated once again. This type of boss poses no trouble at all for our hero. And the last but not least, Bed of Chaos. I won't lie and say that we managed to get the skip first try. No, we actually took a small detour from our role to train the correct way to quickly defeat her. But could you really blame us? This boss is strange to say the least. But after a quick warm-up we succeeded in the one attempted matter. And this is the way to defeat this boss. The way that I will engrave in my brain forever. Who's next? As always, Nito. The path to him wasn't really exciting, but you would never believe it. This chunk of bones actually managed to kill us once. Talk about unexpected. Too bad that this win was the only one for him. After that we paid a visit to the Duke and ventured inside his archives. And he too managed to give us some trouble. Maybe it was because Levelus treated him as a target dummy and wanted to defeat him before he could strike once, but in the end we emerged victorious once again. But you know who is waiting for us now? The boss who took everything Dark Levelus had in the past. The boss who could survive every pyromancy thrown at him. The boss whose fight takes so long that our power within runs out. The 4 Kings. Well, this fight was mostly the same as the last time. The only notable difference was our strategy. We decided to ditch power within and used RTSR instead. Yeah, on one hand it made our pyromancy damage lower, but on the other it gave our final phase of the fight a boost, the one when we switched to the club, and also saved us from a long range setup. Well, maybe not, this time we needed to wait for RTSR to activate. After this change we only needed an hour and a half to finally defeat this boss, a small sacrifice to pay. Especially considering that now we can beat Queen. Well, that isn't entirely true. If you followed our journey, you could notice that something is still missing. We've got every boss weapon, every elemental club, every pyromancy, every magic, but what do we lack of? Yes, every miracle. And, by a happy coincidence, our lack of the last miracle coincides with the last covenant we still need to find. Okay, maybe we don't need to find it. Here it is. But do you see a way to join? Yeah, nothing for now. Allow me to explain. The last covenant we need to join is called the Warriors of Sunlight, and to join it your phase must be higher than 25. What phase does Levelus have? 8. See the problem? Since we cannot level up, we could never increase our faith to join this covenant, so I guess this is a failure then. Wrong, there is another way to bypass this requirement. You just need to help other travelers defeat bosses. But there is another problem. To pair up with someone you need to have similar characters and weapon level. And seeing that different players level up their characters on late game bosses and the players in the beginning don't have our weapon level, it is virtually impossible to connect with someone. But don't worry, we've got the solution. 3 of them actually. First, do it at the beginning of your journey. Before you level up your weapon, you can easily be summoned by someone for a couple of first bosses. We actually got summoned once, right after defeating Bell Gargoyles for the first time. Second, friends, or you in disguise. By using a password, you can bypass every limitation of summons, so you can just ask a friend to summon you, or you can use a second account to summon yourself. Third, help someone who needs it. There is a subreddit called r/summon site. This is a place for people to ask for help. You can find someone to help there, or ask for help yourself. There, Levelus found an amazing guy who needs help with defeating Kalameet. Of course, we need to run to the DLC for it and to defeat the bosses standing in our way, but it was for a good cause to help us all in need. And with the use of all of these methods, Levelus was ready to join the Warriors of Sunlight, to make his friends Lair proud, and also to get the final miracles we need. Here they are, one for joining, the other for 10 Sunlight medals, and the final one for the Soul of Gwyn. With this, we have finally got every trophy this world could offer us while being level 1. Outstanding job, Levelus, you truly are a hero from legend. missions. But while we were celebrating our victory, our newfound companion asked us to aid him once more. As a Sunlight Warrior, Levelus was summoned one final time to defeat the final boss. And together, as two brave champions who overcame numerous challenges, they managed to reach the end. By the way, huge shout out to Effie for helping us with summoning, and congratulations on completing the game. After this glorious moment, it was finally time to face the last boss. We really are at the end of this 90-hour-long fantastic journey. It was something that I will never forget. The failures and victories, hardships and strategies, the whole journey that we've been a part of. I hope you loved it as much as I did. And if this is the case, then thank you for watching, I will be glad if you stick around. But we are right here, at Gwyn's Fog Wall. It is time to end this journey. And this is it. What ending did our heroes choose? Well, I guess this question is up to your interpretation. We are the creators of our fates after all. And now, let's celebrate! We have finally completed Dark Souls while being level 1, and we also collected every single achievement in the game. I think this is one of my biggest gaming accomplishments, so I'm feeling a little bit proud. Now I would like to chat about this series itself. This was my first time doing a video project this big, and I must say it was fun. The whole script got 33,800 words, this is a lot. Also, while creating this story I've used some mods. Here they are, and I want to thank all of the modders who created them. Their work helped me to create the perfect experience. And if you are still here, that means that I was successful in making all of the parts into one big movie, and it managed to pique your interest. So, as a thank you gift, allow me to present one final secret to you. If you watched until this moment, you deserve to know the final amount of Levelus death. 991. I've got this number while playing around with debug mode for kinematic shots, so keep in mind that some of these deaths were intentional, but still, we are just 10 deaths short of 1000. Nice, if you can call that nice. As for the future, I've actually got a ton of new ideas, so feel free to subscribe to the channel. There will be even more interesting videos, I can vouch for it. And the last thing that I wanted to say is that the story of Levelus Maximus isn't over. There are plenty of other worlds that he can visit, we just need to wait for his next vacation. So, for one last time, thank you for watching, thank me for playing, and thank Levelus, both of them, for being an amazing character. I'm sure we'll meet again. Until next time.